like Android, huh?
Yeah, I'm a grown-up.
Oh my gosh. You're so ridiculous.
Oh.
Oh, we can record for how long?
Probably like 1:30 this
Whoa.
Wow. So, should we just start over, Dylan? Yeah. Okay, we're just going to start over. Okay, so welcome to another episode of Big Girl Britches.
Hey.
We're just the two of us today. We don't have a guest. We pushed our guests to next week. We have so many questions.
We are your guest.
Yeah, you're welcome. Mm-hmm. We have so many questions that people have asked over either on the business page or inside of the Google form that we've posted. And you can get that link also on the podcast page or on our Facebook.
I'm ready.
There are so many questions like about different aspects of life, momhood, business. And I know a lot of our listeners are not business owners. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to go ahead and start with some mom questions. Now, for reference, Lacie has a daughter who, how old is she now?
6.
6? Okay. So, she is 6, girl, and then I have 3 kids. Bradley is 11, Gracie is 10, and then Olive is 3. So, it's just a lot of kids.
I just love her.
Every time I mention Olive, everybody's like, I love Olive.
I love Olive.
She's an animal. Her nickname is Monkey. If that tells you anything.
I can see that.
Or Boogers.
Yeah.
Okay. So, one of these I really liked. And it was about protecting your kids because everybody has, and you'll agree to this because not only in conversations at church, at school, at functions, but just, and also on the internet because we just can't get away from the internet. Everybody has a different opinion on this. And I really want to know what your opinion is on this. Okay. So one of the questions was, as a mom, what advice could you give when it comes to protecting your children? Now, I have seen people, lots of folks are like, I'd go to jail for I'd be smiling in my mugshot. How do you feel about that? Putting you on the spot.
Okay, this opens up a whole, protecting them in what way?
Exactly. I mean, you can elaborate.
Because you protect your children every day. I protect my child from, YouTube Kids is a big thing.
Oh my God.
And I had to take that away. Not because, I'm not shaming anyone who lets their kid watch it.
Things are slipping under the radar, probably.
Things are slipping under the radar, and we don't have attitude issues. We do. She's a girl, so we're gonna have a little sassiness and stuff. Mm-hmm. But in the end, my kid is a good kid for the most part, and I was just noticing some little attitude things that I'm like, so no, we don't do YouTube. So you protect them every day. Now, predator wise, be weird.
Yeah.
Be confrontational.
Be weird.
Be weird.
Make
be
eye
rude.
contact.
Make eye contact. If you feel like someone's following you in Walmart, turn around and be like, hey, can I help you? Mm-hmm. What's going on? Because if you show that you're not intimidated, they're going to be like, okay, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But, sorry, I got on a rant.
No, it's totally fine. I think there's varying degrees of how are you protecting it? If it's schoolyard stupid stuff with other kids at school, I think a lot of people, it depends on how extreme you are.
Yeah, I think some parents get a little too involved with some of the schoolyard stuff.
Well, it depends. How many kids do you have? Because by the 3rd kid,
right,
you're just kind of like, go, stop, figure it out.
Yeah, And I only have 1 kid, but I am kind of like, okay, was she being ugly just to be ugly? Or did y'all have a spit spat during the day?
And there's always half context.
Yeah, because your baby's coming home and only telling you their side of the story. Mm-hmm. And yes, I always have her side.
And what did Paige say last week?
You are
guilty.
Guilty until proven innocent. I always have my baby's back. I'm staying 10 toes down behind her no matter what it is. But if she's wrong, we're going to admit we're wrong.
Right.
And we're going to apologize, and we're going to self-reflect. When she gets in trouble, people probably think I'm crazy, but my kid's not going to be grounded for 2 weeks because of a little thing that, whatever. We can talk about it, and that does more, I see her break. Like, if we're talking about what she did and how it's wrong and how it, like, hurts, I see her break. Like, she cries. And that does more to her than grounding her for, you know. But you have to just
kids
decide.
do that.
Yeah, you have to decide how you parent that child. Every child's different.
Yeah. And I feel like that's a really touchy subject being on the podcast. Yeah. It's like parenting, because we're like, there's different degrees. Everybody parents different.
Yes.
And there's no, like, one size fits all. And there's no, like... one blanket answer that's going to be right for every single kid. So, although the question is like, what advice could you give when it comes to protecting your children? I think it just depends on what it is.
Yeah. Like,
because
what are you talking about?
What are you protecting them from? So, I agree, the attitude thing. And for us, honestly, it's just moving pictures in general. Yeah. Like TV, iPads, phones, because, like, my kids never get my phone. But my husband, like, if he's busy doing something, he'll be like, yes, all of you can have my phone. Yeah. And he'll break down and give it to her. Yeah. Which is fine. And a lot of kids
when you bring your kids
like
to work,
iPad
you
kind
of have to.
You know, but I think the decision is different for everybody. Yes. But for me, for my kids, we limit the hell out of that. And we have to, because they see these kids on even the Disney Channel. Yeah. They see these attitude-y, bratty, like 10, 11-year-old kids. And I'm like, absolutely not. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Get in line. Like, we don't do all that. Yes. And then the whole half-truths thing. I just had a conversation with Gracie, because she's a girl, and she's 10. I don't know if you've ever met a bunch of 10-year-old girls, but, like, they all have varying degrees of attitude and sass. And she'll say things, and again, always guilty until innocent, but I always seek to understand. Yes, yes. And benefit of the doubt. Yes. So she will say, I will say, how was, this? And she'll say, well, so-and-so rolled her eyes at me. And depending on the situation and who it is, I might perk up a little bit and be like, what? And so then I kind of dissect it, and I'll ask her more questions. Yeah. Are you, in what instance, explain to me the situation? She'll go give me a play-by-play. And I say, are you sure she rolled her eyes at you? And she was like, well, maybe she didn't. And I said, then why would you come home and tell me first thing she rolled her eyes? You're creating chaos where it doesn't need to be created. And honestly, a lot of the adults do that. Yeah. Yeah. Looking for reasons to just be irritated or angry at folks instead of just minding your own business and going about your life. Yeah. When I ask, like, but that's kids these days, like, they're so filled with, they want that drama, as a 10-year-old. I'm like, I asked you how, like, practice last night. I'm like, how did practice go? I was there. I watched you. I don't want to know about, like, the drama in the dugout. No. Yeah. I want to hear about, like, hey, what did you do right? What did you do wrong? Like, absolutely. What did you learn? Yeah. So that's where the whole, like, half-truth thing, I have to ask a question. And I think that's, as they get older, we're going to be asking questions till we die. That's just what we're going to be doing. Yeah. Because they're not going to tell us the whole truth. I'm almost 30 years old. And when my mama asks me somebody hurt my feelings, I'm only telling my mama my part. Do you really? And then when well, my mama don't ever really take my side like that, man. My mama is you are guilty until proven innocent. Yeah. And so I'm like, Mama, no, my mom's not. I have to be careful what I tell her, because she will legitimately believe every word out of my mouth like it's from the Bible. Yeah. Mom is like, I'm like, Mama, Brittany hasn't talked to me in 3 days. And, like, the last time this hasn't happened. I'm just thinking of something, by the way. I'm just thinking up something. And the last time we talked, she told me that I was just being too much for her. And my mom would be like, well, were you too much? And so sometimes I'm like, that sounds like me. Mama, Brittany was mean. And I want her to be like, oh, baby, come here. And she's like, what'd you do? No. That sounds like me. What did you take accountability? What did you do? There's always the 4 sides to every story. I'm like, Mama, Eric made me so mad. And she's like, well, he puts up with a lot. Are we talking about your mama or Eric's mama? My mama. Eric's mama probably had my side. She'd probably be like, yeah. Oh my gosh. That's hilarious. Okay. There was something else I was going to say and I forgot. So how do you feel about protecting your child? I honestly, there's varying degrees. Like it's a very vague question, to be honest.
Okay, so let's say I struggle with being in public and men showing my child a little too much attention. It doesn't really happen very often, but I'm always like super hawk. And I have to kind of sometimes tell myself to relax. Do you see yourself being the same way or no?
I have pretty good discernment. I smell out weird real quick.
Yeah, I think I do too.
Yeah. So, and honestly, if I smell out weird, you're never going to be within 5 feet of my kid.
It's hard in the hair salon. I'm always like, Gentry, go to the back.
I mean,
Gentry, go to the back. Gentry, go to the back.
So if it's a close we're in close proximity, and like if somebody were to be being weird, I'm more assertive. I know everybody knows me to be this like really nice, sweet person. I'm a very clear communicator.
Yeah.
In real life.
Mm-hmm.
And not a lot of people love that about me because I leave nothing to the imagination. Mm-hmm. And so if somebody's like in the shop and Gracie's behind the counter, she's obviously not going to pick up on the social cue that I'm giving her to go upstairs. And sometimes, because she's 10, she will talk back and argue with me a little bit about why, because it's out of character for me to do it. So she's like,
absolutely,
why are you making me go
Gentry
upstairs right now?
If I'm like, go to the back, she's like,
instead of saying, yes, ma'am, like we want them to do, it's something we're asking them to do that's out of character for us.
Right.
And so naturally they have, inquiries about it.
Yeah.
And so I legit I have a look, and I look at her like this, and I kind of squint my left eye a little bit, and I'll say, go upstairs and don't ask me a question again. Thank you so much. And she marches right up the stairs.
Yeah. I give Gentry this look, and I'm like, go to the back. And I kind of make eye contact with her, and it's like I'm letting her know, like, it's not you, go to the back. Mm-hmm. Like, you're fine.
Yeah.
Get back there.
Yeah. So in those things, like physical danger,
not that I think someone's just going to grab her up out of the, but
we live in such a safe town.
I know.
And like I went to the mayor forum the other day, and they were spitting out statistics that I didn't realize. This is the 6th safest city in Louisiana.
Wow.
Didn't know that.
What's number 1?
I don't know. They didn't say that. But I felt like I agree with that statistic. Like, I really don't have to worry much.
No.
And I know most people when we go out in public.
Listen, my hair salon is next to the shadiest reputation place in DeRidder. Oh, Skipper's Inn.
Yeah.
Those people are some of the best people ever. They genuinely watch out for us girls.
Yeah.
So, like, our threats, not that we don't have real threats, we do, but like, we're good.
Yeah.
I love our little town.
Physical, I hardly ever run into that, honestly, where there's but I mean, my shop is very girl driven.
Right.
I've only had one instance where there was a threat and I saw it immediately.
Yeah.
When he parked his car.
Okay. And
came in. The way that he spoke to me, his demeanor, the way that he made eye contact with my cameras around the store. So, we put some precautions into place and had some security pulled by local PD. Shout out to DeRidder PD because they're freaking amazing. I love Amanda. She is fabulous. So shout out if Amanda's listening to this. They are quick.
Yeah.
To make sure everybody is feeling super safe, super secure. They're like, if you want us to come to your store and like, because during the wintertime, we close at 6.
Yes.
And
it's dark.
It gets dark at 4:45 in the afternoon. So they're like, if you want us to walk you to your car, those 12 feet from the door to your car, we totally will.
Yeah.
And because a lot of the times the way that we have to lock up, like it could be weird.
Yeah.
But I don't have many like physical threats to me or my kids that I hardly ever come into contact with. Excuse me. More so like protecting my kids in general. If it's physical, I address it pretty head on.
Yeah.
If somebody in Walmart one time years ago, I remember was like seeing me in every aisle and didn't have anything in their hands and was staring at me and my kids, I literally stop and I'll look at you. And I'll also make some stuff up. I don't know who the manager of Walmart is, but I'll be like, Margaret, is going to come.
I think her name is Beverly for future references. Miss Beverly.
Miss Beverly. But I legitimately am like, can I help you with something? Because you don't look like you're from around here. And I'm sure Margaret would be lovely. It would be happy to meet you. Along with, Sheriff Mark.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had to call the police department a couple times to my shop. I had a woman who thought I think she was not okay mentally. And she thought that me and my cop brother, I don't have a cop brother. I have my brother's best friend is a cop. Shout out Tim Hardy and DeRitter. I love you. But she thought that we stole her son.
What?
She said that she had pictures of me and my brother that she took from his office.
I'd be asking for the photos. Because then I'd probably tell her, oh, that's not me.
She met me at my car and was like,
are you one of those people who people confuse you for someone else?
She kept calling me Misty.
And your stole a child? That's crazy.
It wasn't a child. It was a grown man. We come to find out.
Oh.
But my brother was apparently a cop. And I was thinking, the only Misty I know is Misty. And I was like, she's blonde.
Yeah.
This was a few years ago. I was like, our mayor?
You don't look like her.
She's blonde.
Yeah.
And
that's super weird.
And I said that, and she was like, yeah, I've seen pictures of you and your brother in the office. I have one.
What?
And y'all took my grandson and beat him. And I'm like, I don't want another kid. I thought it was a kid at the time. I was like, I don't want another kid. I'm good.
No.
I didn't adopt your son. I don't have another baby. And she was like, no, he's a grown man in jail.
That's
and
so
I was like,
interesting.
Oh, I gotta go.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. No, she came in my car.
Ew.
Met me at my car. Like, came from behind my building and met me at my car. And was
Were
like,
you packing?
Oh, I always am. Might not need to share that, but yeah. And ladies, you can pack without a permit anymore in Louisiana.
Yep. Thank you, Louisiana.
Yes. But she was like, hey, I've heard you've been saying you're ready to fight. And I was like, ma'am, I've never been in a fight in my life.
I did one time in 5th grade.
Ooh.
I kicked a girl in the shin. She stole my Jingle Bell necklace.
That was worth it.
I got so mad, I kicked that girl in the shin.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. She didn't steal another thing?
No, she didn't.
All right. You taught her lesson. Gentry's going to come home. I got kicked in the shin. And I'm going to be like, did you steal her Jingle Bell?
I did not even get
Good. Hey, I've also told my kid that she better not start it, but if she finishes it, we'll go get ice cream.
Oh my gosh. This is such a small town. I don't think I can share any of my stories about my kids. Several people are probably listening and they know.
Oh no, my kid's in kindergarten. She has no stories yet.
Oh my gosh. So honestly, we have had several incidents like since over the past couple years that I've been privy to. People have shared with me. Or times I've been tempted, or honestly, I have. Back in my messy days, we just talked about this earlier, like before we became more healed.
Once upon a time, not long ago, I was messy.
Messy. So I think I was joking around a few years ago. I say a few years ago, probably like 5-6 years ago. I was joking around. Now, my kids have always gone to Rose Pine. This is a real life story.
Okay. Don't judge us.
So when it comes to like protecting your kids or whatever, this isn't really that, but it does display. I'm using my own scenario that way I don't embarrass anybody else with their scenarios. No. But my kid, Bradley's 11 now, so 5 years ago he was like 6 or 7, had so much homework as a like 7-year-old boy. Maybe this was 4 or 5 years ago because he's almost 12. Anywho, and I'm a funny person. Mm-hmm. I have learned you cannot share as much funny stuff because not everybody thinks you're hilarious.
No, but I'm a comedian. See?
And I had I had such a problem with Bradley's first of all, one of his teachers, and she's no longer there at the school, and I'm happy about it. But anyway, I had such a issue with all of the work that he had, so much work for his age. And honestly, it's not even an issue with the school or the teachers specifically. I think systemically, I do not love how much homework our kids have. Mm-hmm. And that is absolutely a result of the unrealistic expectations that are placed on our education system and teachers.
Mm-hmm.
And we absolutely do not implement enough real life play, outdoors, common sense things into our curriculum. And that
no one has common sense
is
anymore.
a higher level than any of us go.
Mm-hmm.
So anywho, I had made a Facebook post, which that's my first mistake right there that I made. That was in my messy era, and I don't do that anymore. So
we love that growth.
We love that growth. There is a chain of command for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Go to your kids' teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the principal, and have a little discussy-scush if you need to. Don't go posting stuff on Facebook, because I thought I was being funny, and I was like, now that I've finished doing my kids' homework, because there's no way that my 7-year-old kid could possibly complete all of this work on his own. And now that we're going to bed at 10 o'clock at night and not getting enough sleep because we have so much homework, I was being funny, sarcastic, but I also had intention in behind that. Oh my gosh. Everybody be screenshotting stuff, sending it all over the place. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. But it's honestly not an issue for me with the teachers or school in general. It is systemically. Especially for boys. I honestly think if there were a school around here, listen, in Colorado, we lived in Colorado for a little bit. There is an outdoor school where you can send your kid, and a lot of days per week, they're outside. They're learning about different types of snakes that are poisonous versus are not poisonous, how to make a fire, how to survive if you're ever out in the woods by yourself, how to plant things and make it grow.
Yeah.
Plant seeds, plant your fruit, your vegetables, how to live off the land.
Yeah.
Sharecropping,
Yeah.
all of those things, which I think are so incredibly valuable, especially not just boys, but girls too.
Right.
But boys are incredibly hands-on. Mm-hmm. And Bradley, for instance, loves Legos and engineering things. He would much rather you show him how to take an engine apart, and then he'll go and put it back together.
Right.
Because his brain works like that. Girls, not so much. Some of them, yes. But boys, they need to be physically active.
Yeah.
And outside. That's my own personal belief. So, anywho.
I have a question when you're done with your little thing.
Yeah, just the moral of the story is, I would really encourage moms. I know that you're probably, those are your babies.
Yeah.
And I know that you get mad about things. I know that, you have every right, whether it's small, big, medium-sized, mad, or frustrated, or whatever. I would just never, ever say that it's a good idea to take it to social media, because it's absolutely not going to do anything. And I'm telling you that from personal experience, that little situation. And I think if it has to do with the school, take it up with them.
Yeah.
Have a meeting about it, figure out, because everybody wants your kid to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
I just had a parent-teacher conference on Friday of last week with my son's teachers over at Rose Pine. They're phenomenal. Everybody wants my kid to succeed.
Yeah.
I want my kid to succeed, and we're working together as a team to come up with the best solution,
Mm-hmm.
And if your issue is with another kid, maybe reach out to that parent.
Yeah.
The struggle is the school will not give you the other parents contact information, so you're gonna have to do a little research on your part.
The quick FBI search.
Right. Well, yeah, and you just ask a couple of people hey, can you give me somebody's contact information? We're just having some issues. I would say always for conflict resolution, go straight to the source and in a seek to understand way. Yeah. And I think that comes with maturity and experience. You have to embarrass yourself before you learn that. Seek to understand and give the benefit of the doubt, because there's another person on the other side of that conversation.
Yes.
And if you are met with hostility yourself, you're probably not going to give the best version of yourself. So maybe don't meet them with hostility, and they will give you the best version of themselves.
Honestly, probably if you message me and it's hostile or just rude, I'm probably just going to heart it or not respond.
Yeah.
Because, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not a hostile person. So now, if you're messaging me something like from your heart and it's actually like, that's. But if it's rude, like, I'm not rude to you, so don't be rude to me. So I'm not even gonna respond.
I will.
Not my kid, but
if it's.
I haven't had an instance like that.
If it's heated and I can tell, because I've grown a little bit inside.
Yeah.
If it's heated and I can tell you're hurt, because hurt people lash out.
Yeah.
I will respond and say, I'm going to give you a while to cool off on this. Yeah. And I'm even going to let you delete it if you want. And you can rewrite it and then send it to me, because I want to hear your message, but I can't hear the message through all of that.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and that's your own personal frustrations that I'm not responsible for.
Right. Oh, I read it and I do self-reflect. I take it in.
Yeah.
And I self-reflect, and I mean, I've reached out to you for a couple things like, hey, am I like in the wrong? What? Blah,
oh,
blah.
yeah.
And like I self-reflect, but as far as initiating in it, I'm like, thank you. Mm-hmm. I'm taking it in.
Yeah.
I'm
reflecting,
talking to God, doing my thing, changing my heart towards whatever it is. But
and you can always seek, and here's the thing, you can seek counsel.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's an instance, for example, like going back to the kid thing, if there's an issue with your child in one circumstance or another going on, you can seek counsel from, here's my rule, is 2 people. Mm-hmm. You can seek counsel from 2 people who not messy people. We don't do that. You seek counsel from 2 people who are moms that you look up to, right? Mentor moms, we'll call them those. You can seek counsel from those 2. Any more than that, you're seeking attention more than you are resolution. So, and that's in anything.
No, I really, you have kind of ingrained that in me, and I've realized that I go to Riley. Well, I have 3 people that I interchange. You, Riley, Julie. Here lately, it's been you and Riley, because Julie's just been busy. But I've noticed, like, I go to y'all 2, and then I drop it, unless I'm talking about it with you 2.
Yeah.
Or my husband. But, you know, like, because like you said, if you keep going to every single person.
Well, and not everybody is, and I should say, like, don't go to 2 people who are just going to fluff you up.
No. And they are not fluffers.
You. Yeah.
My people are not fluffers.
Yeah, I'm never going to BS you or fluff you. I always seek to understand, give the benefit of the doubt, like, where's your wrong and wrongdoing, if there's wrong being done. But yeah, I say no more than 2 people, because then you're just looking for attention instead of resolution.
Yeah. Yep.
You know. What were you going to ask me? You said when I got done?
Oh, okay. So this could be controversial. I'm seeking to understand. Okay. I really am, y'all. There are a lot of people who homeschool.
Okay.
And there are obviously a lot of people who still send their kid to public school. We are public schoolers.
Yeah.
Homeschool, outdoor school, Montessori school.
Okay. Now,
all
mine
schools,
go to public school.
Yes, mine goes to public
school.
But
I have looked into not alternative school. I've looked into private school for one of my children.
Yeah.
Because we live in a small town, and you go to school with the same people from, diapers to graduation. So I have explored the idea of private school for one of them, because they just learn differently. And I think that is perfectly fine.
Yes.
I have not made that decision, because we're still public school, and I am still, like, from my perspective, because my kids don't go to another school and I don't know any different, and I went to public school, I will say that for myself.
Same.
I want to exhaust the public school option, because me, myself, and I believe that is the best representation of the outside world that I could give them.
Yes.
I'm a tough mom, and I'm not saying that that's the right way or wrong way, because I really want to emphasize that while we're sitting here, like, dishing out
we're genuinely
stuff,
talking.
I don't ever want anybody to feel like they're doing something wrong, in a way that's could be misconstrued as like, oh, we're being judgy. I'm not judgmental at all.
No. Okay, so let's say we are what they call satin mommies.
What is that?
Silk mommies.
What is that? It sounds like weird.
Have you heard of a crunchy mom?
Well, crunchy mom is like, and I'm turning into a crunchier mom. Like, we don't do dyes anymore.
You're right.
Because I do feel like when we don't, I think the focus is a little bit better.
Yeah. I'm turning a little crunchy health food-wise. I'm not talking food-wise.
Oh, okay. Well, crunchy, like, do you mean...
like...
everything's organic and...
Maybe I'm meaning, like, you know, like, we're hard moms. We're not hard.
I'm a rub some dirt in it and suck it up kind of mom.
So maybe we should bring a mom on one day for a mom episode that is very, like, soft and...
like a gentle parenting.
Gentle parenting.
Oh,
maybe we should bring a gentle parent mom and just have a... So people can see other perspectives.
Yeah.
So they don't think we're just, like...
crazy.
Yeah.
And hard.
Yeah, and shoving
kids.
our perspective.
Yeah. I mean, I'm totally willing to do that.
Yeah, me too. I don't really know of one.
We live in the
My friend
South.
Daisy is very cool. She's the closest thing to crunchy. She has 5 kids. And no, they have 7.
Well,
But I don't know.
There's just certain things that I think okay, so this is something I really want to share.
Okay.
I talked with another mom about this, and we were discussing girls.
Yes.
And going through emotional changes.
Yeah.
In their preteen years.
It's rough.
It is rough. Girls are mean.
Mm-hmm.
And even sometimes I don't think they even mean to be mean.
Mm-mm.
I just think that they don't get it yet. It's not clicked.
Mm-mm.
The whole, like, if you don't want it done to you, don't do it to other people.
No.
I don't think it's clicked yet.
It hasn't clicked, and everything going on in their little world on that day is
paramount.
All they can, yeah. That's all they can focus on.
So I was talking to this mom last week, and I told her we were discussing emotional maturity. We were talking about counseling. I think counseling is amazing, and maybe another hard mom would be like, nah, you don't need no counseling. Suck it up. I think counseling is fabulous. I personally have used a counselor over the years, and it did wonders. Even though at the time, it probably didn't feel like it. I feel like counseling, and if you've never done it, it might seem really slow and not productive. And it's not something that if you go once or twice, your life is going to be changed. That's not it.
It's like church. You can't go once or twice.
Yeah, you really need to identify yourself, your triggers, things that your knee-jerk reactions to things, and know you have to take accountability. Honestly, counseling is the way to help you take accountability for your own crap.
Yeah.
If you know that something is going to set you off, you need to also know that you need to wait to make decisions till after you're done being set off. Like, have your little fit and then calm down and then make rational decisions.
I tell everybody, throw your fit. If something happens to you in your life, you have 24 hours. Throw your fit. Snot,
and not
scream,
just that.
Do everything, and then get up.
And anything, and like, I'm just gonna dish out some tidbits from counseling, and I'm just gonna give free counseling.
I'm here for it. I don't have counseling. Tell me. I'm broken. Fix me.
So, a couple rules from counseling.
Okay.
Anything traumatic that happens, what you deem to be traumatic in your life, or the general population, because some people have had so many bad things happen to them, they're like numb to things. Yeah. Anything traumatic that happens in your life, do not make irrational decisions for 12 months.
12 months. Okay.
12 months.
Okay.
And and I mean, we're going to get into some controversial things, but
I've actually heard that with grief.
Yes. Grief.
Yeah.
Trauma, like things like that. Irrational decisions. You have 12 months to heal, calm down, and then make a good decision. After all of the ripples are calmed down and your water is clear as glass, is calm, then make the decision. You know? Mm-hmm. I mean, personally, are you even married? We said this last week with Paige. Are you even married for like a long, long time? I mean, I've been with Darryl for like 16 years. Yeah. Literally, we've almost been divorced like 3 times. Not really, but like, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And anything big that happens, you know, you have somebody passes away, like, you have, I don't care, like, what it is, honestly, you know, Darryl got into a really big car accident, and he was very hurt from that. You know, no big decisions for 12 months. But also, another thing from counseling, and this is something that I'm really good at, is compartmentalization.
Okay.
I like to put stuff in boxes and then shove it into the back of my mind and then put it in a really dark closet, and it doesn't exist anymore.
I love that.
Yeah, that's not healthy.
I didn't think so, but I love it. Most things that I love are not healthy.
I'm a compartmentalizer. So literally and it's bad, and it probably stems from maybe childhood. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and sling some mud on my family. But anyway, I'm able to, and I'm sure a lot of people can resonate with this.
Yeah.
I'll say we as a group. So we as a cumulative group of compartmentalizers are able to experience something bad happening, and then 5 minutes later, I can push that to the back of my mind, put on some makeup, and then function completely normal.
Yeah.
So that's not usually okay, but that's a compartmentalizer. So what I have, and parenting, and like knowing, here's the thing, counseling makes you identify those things about you, and letting you know that that's not okay to pass on to your kids. Knowing what you are like, and then knowing what you're not supposed to be like. Yeah. And making sure you're teaching your kids how to actually be is the hardest thing in the world, because your knee-jerk reaction to things is who you are as a person. And you literally have to heal those wounds in order to be the best version of yourself for them.
This brings up something. I have struggled with this, and it's a mental health journey. When you come from trauma, when you have had childhood trauma or early life trauma, whatever kind of trauma, you, a lot of people have the mentality that they just got to make it through every day, and it's just about making them through, getting themselves through. But I think a lot of times they forget that they have little children that watching, and they are your future leaders. So are you creating someone who sees your struggles and see you wake up every day, and despite of your struggles, you get up and you do your best? Or are they seeing you not make efforts to change?
I think a lot of it is communication. I don't really suffer from like depression like that. I will have bouts because I'm a human. You know, I will go through like little spells. But especially for, like, we really do gender roles at our house. As far as, I know how girls are, and then my husband knows how boys are. So Darryl takes a lot of that on with Bradley. And how to manage his emotions and stuff. So I'm going to speak from a girl's perspective, and I do this a lot with Grace. So I have been teaching her for years now, a separation of logical and emotional. And I'm not saying that this is good for everyone, but it has helped us immensely going through these preteen years. And also identifying myself with her. Because we talk it out. I think communication's huge. I don't want to fake it. I don't want to fake it. I don't want her to see me like cry 1 minute and then put on a face and then just show the world this external thing. So I communicate with her. And because I want to be a good example, and I want her to be healthy growing up. So and this is what I talked to the mom about last week, was the separation of emotional and logical. And not separating it entirely, but being able to identify a situation and whether it warrants one or the other. So for instance, she goes to a birthday, and this hasn't happened, I'm making something up, but like, she goes to a birthday party, a bunch of girls are like laughing about something about her, not as much making fun of her, but like they think they're laughing along with her, but it hurts her on the inside. Right? She comes home. She says, oh, the girls were laughing at me. And she's very, very upset about it, right? So in this scenario, I ask, are the girls intentionally being mean? Obviously, no. Mm-hmm. They're all her friends.
Right.
But she's taking it very hard. So in that situation, I then say, do you think your reaction warrants what actually happened? So we're going to separate the two for a second. Your reaction emotionally is very lofty. Mm-hmm. The situation logically, did it warrant this much reaction emotionally? Mm-hmm. And I let her answer. And I said, be honest. Like, do you think because for them, situations can be large.
Huge.
But we think it's very small. So do you think that situation was lofty, or do you think that was a smaller situation logically? Mm-hmm. And then she'll calm down. She stops crying, and then she can focus because we're separating the two. And she'll say, I don't think it was that big of a deal, but it hurt me emotionally, and I had a big reaction to it. And I say, okay, it's fine if you want to have a reaction to it. You're emotional about it. But just know in your brain, though, when you're addressing those friends again, it wasn't that big of a deal, but you had a large reaction to it.
Like,
and if
say she fell and they thought it was funny, and she's like embarrassed.
Exactly.
And they're like, oh my gosh, you like, that was so funny.
Exactly.
Yeah. Something that simple.
Exactly. Yeah. So, going and addressing it with your friend, if you want to, in that situation, I'd say it would be fine if you wanted to address it, because I think your friends would support you emotionally. Mm-hmm. If you don't want to address it and you just want to brush it under the rug and you think you're able to do that too. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. Like, whatever you want to do. But I want her to know what warrants a large emotional reaction and what probably doesn't. But I also tell my kids all the time, both of them, because they're 10 and 11, the older ones, they are going to experience when they like someone, when they have a crush on someone, it's going to feel this big because they have so many hormones going through their body at one time, and it exacerbates all of their emotions. Mm-hmm. So I tell them all the time, what seems like this right now, you're going to sleep tonight and you're going to wake up in the morning and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, but I don't think that was a big of a deal.
Also me in my 20s. Also, me in my early 20s, like, trying to start my life.
Well, yeah, because you're still also dealing with hormones in your early 20s, too.
Like, it doesn't
And then
stop.
you go into motherhood and you deal with more hormones. So I think I'm trying to teach her this separation.
Yeah.
I want her to use that into adult, because I still use it.
Yeah.
Darla will say something to me and I might be very emotional in that time.
Oh, yeah. Eric gets it, too.
I'm hardly ever, listen, I'm like a cat. I need very little attention. If you just pet me once in a while, like, I'm fine, And my husband is not that way. We are very different.
He just wants to grab you up and squeeze you.
He wants
to squeeze you.
he just wants to squeeze me all the time.
You're just so cute.
But once in a while, I get really emotional about something stupid. Like, he'll say something to me, and I will instantly start, like, blubbering. My lips like quivers or whatever. And I'm 30-something years old, and I will still have to, like, he'll come in there, and if this is how you know you have a really good spouse and knows that you might be a little crazy.
Oh, Eric does. Yeah, Eric's like, hey, did you take your anxiety medicine today? And I'm like, no, thank you.
Yeah, he just looks at me and he'll go, are you upset about that? Oh my gosh, okay. Oh, we're doing that today. Okay, come here.
Okay, come here. Like, I can see it.
He goes, do you need a little attention?
You need some little love?
Yeah. So
I do this thing where, like, I've seen this video on TikTok where it's this noise, this chaos. Like, imagine a busy restaurant.
Oh, and you lay on your husband and it goes away.
I'm like a cat, I guess you could say. Because if I can just nuzzle my face right here in his neck crevice between his neck and shoulder, it's like silence. So I get it. Like, I'll have those days where he's like, what is wrong? And I'm like, everything. And I just go in his neck crevice, and I'm like, you know what? Actually, I just need to eat. Baby, he's been feeding me I got 4 steaks last week.
What?
Because we've been eating up for lunch before he goes to work.
Yeah.
And I went, ooh, Daddy, you've been feeding me good. He said, I know how to keep my woman around. said, yeah, you feed me and you tell me I'm pretty.
Oh my gosh. Daryl's the cook in our house too.
Yeah.
I'm not a culinary queen, man.
Oh, I cook, but man, if you can just take me out to eat and I don't have to do anything, and they got that Dr. Pepper on refill.
Oh my gosh, stop. You and your
Keep
Dr.
it going.
Pepper.
I got that debit card popped out. Fill it up.
Oh my gosh.
But back to the homeschool and private school and public school. Okay, so systemically, to go to college,
right,
to technical school, college, you have to have a diploma / GED.
Decent grades.
Decent grades. So what I'm asking is the schools that, like you mentioned in Colorado, that are outdoors.
Oh, they're still accredited. You're still going to get a diploma or a GED, one of the two.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what...
like if they're accredited, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know the private schools around here are accredited. They get their GED, they get their diploma, and then go to a college. But I think that's what, like with homeschooling too, that's what scares me the most is, no, you don't have to have a college degree to make it in the world. A trade is a college degree, so that counts. But am I going to set her up by homeschooling her in a way that she can go to college?
A lot of homeschool programs now are like crazy advanced.
Yeah, because I know as online. A parent, I'd be like...
You don't even have to, like, you can homeschool your kid.
Yeah.
But pay for this online. I know, like, several people locally who do this.
Yeah.
You can do homeschool.
Yeah.
But then you'll pay an online platform.
Yeah.
They have teachers. They have classes.
Okay.
They still have to do papers, tests, and all that, and you don't actually do anything.
Okay.
It's like online school.
Because I'm like, hey, you want to go hang out at the shop and go to Dear Me and then go to Lake Charles for the day and we'll do that homework in 3 weeks? Yeah.
And I think, honestly, and some people might disagree with this, and I don't care. It's my own personal belief.
Yeah.
I feel like I should disclose that like 57 million times. This is my own personal belief.
Opinion.
This is free to have me and my kids.
Opinions are like elbows.
Right. And mine are dry and crusty right now. I really need
Your opinion is dry and crusty. Come on, tell me your crusty opinion. I'm ready.
But every kid is not academically inclined.
Yeah. No, they're not.
And you kind of know earlier on which of your kids, you know your kids better than anybody else on this earth. You know which of your kids are more likely to go into the military, which I really hope one or more of my children goes, because we're a service family.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know your kids better than anyone else, so you know if they are destined for collegiate honors, and then you also know if your kid is mechanically inclined and loves that kind of engineer life, which might look a little bit different. It might not be a mechanical engineer degree in
I have an
a bachelor's.
example that people may judge my mom on.
What?
My brother was 18 or 19 in high school. He, I don't know if he couldn't pass or his mind just wasn't in it. He's 10 years older than me, so I don't know exactly what was going on in school.
You were little when this was all going down.
He was in 11th grade, didn't finish, either 11th or 12th grade, and my mom let him decide to not finish school.
I agree with that.
But when he didn't finish school, my whole family was overseas in Iraq, Afghanistan, Bosnia, building the campgrounds.
Right.
They were contractors for the U.S. Army, building the campgrounds for the soldiers to stay in. KBR. They worked for KBR, Brown and Root, all that. So
I used to hang out with all those people.
Yeah.
In the defect.
Yeah, they were at Camp Victory. I don't know if you remember.
Been there.
They built Camp Victory.
That's in Salerno.
Yeah.
It was in Salerno. I don't think that's there anymore.
I don't think Camp Victory's probably not there. That was like Desert Storm. No? Before Desert Storm?
Victory was there when I was there.
Oh.
Desert Storm was when I was a baby.
I was so young. I don't know. Oh, I thought Desert Storm was Operation Iraq.
No, you're talking about Iraqi freedom. Enduring freedom was Afghanistan.
Okay, yeah. I was young. I wasn't there.
It's okay.
But yeah. Man, the patriotism during that time was,
golly. I bring it back.
I don't miss that time because of all the things happening in the world, but I miss the political feel that the United States had.
Whatever happened to, like, whoever your president was, you still respected them.
I don't care what president. Me and my husband have had this talk multiple times. I don't care what president walks in that door. That is the president of the United States, and I'm going to shake their hand and meet them. Like Biden, Obama, Trump, I don't care who it is. I'm going to say, hey, Mr. President, how are you? Commander-in-Chief? Like,
yeah.
You're really cool.
I know. It's just a different time. It wasn't as polarized. We didn't have social media, first of all.
No.
And everybody feels so emboldened to just say whatever they want to behind a keyboard. And I know a lot of people are like, I'd say the same in public. No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, no.
I deal with that all the time because I am a straight shooter.
Yeah.
And if somebody gives me sass in a text message, I'm going to call you.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing?
Like,
what's wrong?
I want to deal with this right now. Not in a mean way or hostile way.
No, but like I can't keep stressing about this all day and have this.
Well, no, I'm not going to listen. I'm not going to stress out about other people's emotions all day. But I will call you to see if I can resolve it. Right. I'm sure there was a miscommunication. I'm sure that my blunt honesty was probably met with, you thought it was ill-intentioned. Yeah. I'm sure that, like, honestly, I have to put a bunch of emojis and things that I say sometimes.
So it's not taken as...
So it's not taken as, like,
because when you are forward...
Oh, my goodness.
Like,
people don't like it.
Let me just say, to end this, she let my brother drop out and go work overseas to be a heavy equipment operator. Yeah. And to this day, he's in Arizona right now.
As long as he had the qualifications to do the job.
He had been running heavy equipment since he was...
And let me just tell you, I'm going to guess his salary was probably between $80,000 and $120,000. I
think overseas they brought home like $15,000 to $20,000 a month back in the day.
Yeah.
I don't know if he did, but I've heard that that's what some of them brought in. But he's still, to this day, he turned 40 this year. He's in Arizona. He's a heavy equipment operator. Yeah. Did my mom fail him by letting him drop out of school? No, because his grandpa and his dad had taught him a trade since he could walk.
Here's the thing. I'm going to say my generation. Yeah. Because you keep mentioning how you're not even 30 yet.
I will be in October. So you're my brother's generation.
So everybody forced us into, like, college prep classes in high school. Everybody was forced in it. Like, your parents wanted you to go because that was the goal. That was the dream. Yeah. You're going to send your kids to college.
I'm the only one in my family.
And so many people failed out of college, did not do well, and their parents became so frustrated at this because they had this unrealistic expectation, and not that their kid was dumb by any stretch of the imagination. They were just in the wrong career field, man.
I am not dumb. I mean, I'm a little dumb. I'm a little goofy, but I dropped out of college.
If you are not interested in something, imagine, you gave this mechanically inclined boy college prep classes. He didn't do well, and you were like, well, that's because he's just not focused enough.
No, my brother could not go do college prep courses. His mind's not there.
You paid for his college. You did. You paid for your kid's college. Yeah. Send him off to some general education courses. Thinking it, No, man. They're going to meet a bunch of other kids, get in a bunch of trouble because they're not interested in school. So, no, I don't think your mom did the wrong thing at all. I'm not judgmental there at any stretch of the imagination.
I don't think she did the wrong thing at all.
I think, a lot of the time, something that kids did at my age, a lot of folks, I won't say a lot, some graduates of high school decided to take a year off of school. And I remember my parents saying that's the worst idea I've ever heard of because they're just never going to go back to school. That might be the case in some circumstances from kids who would have done well in school. But taking a year off either makes you, and maybe not even a year, maybe longer, it might make you appreciate the education system and learning.
I took 2 years off.
See?
I had to mature.
It gives you direction of where do you want to go because me personally, when I left high school and I was going to college, you asked me what I wanted. I changed majors, I think, 4 times. Let me just tell you, I started in accounting. I started in accounting. Then I changed my major to sports media.
Okay.
which I probably could have done really well
I
at
could
that.
see that, yeah.
But I switched it again because I thought I should to education.
Okay.
Oh, Lordy, God bless those individuals. Not me. That ain't it. And then I ended up deploying, doing adulty things, and then went back to school. We had moved to Florida, and I finished my degree for my university with online classes in business.
Yeah.
And then I went and got half a master's just to be like, I don't even need a master's. I'm running a store.
Yeah. So I had a single mom, and it was always told to me that at the time in 2014, it was told to me that like the medical field is where women can make money. Mm-hmm. Like if you want to be a woman that can support yourself without a man or without help, you need to go into the medical field.
Man.
So
those travel nurses.
Oh man, and I'm not discrediting it.
Lord.
Nurses make great money. Y'all deserve way more probably than y'all get paid. Mm-hmm. Just and like teachers.
And the medical field has become highly political.
Yeah.
Oh no, thank you. Hard pass.
So I graduated. I had a full ride to Louisiana Tech. Mm-hmm. Everything was paid for.
For what?
Nursing school.
For nursing school.
For nursing school.
I think you would have made such a cute little nurse.
I take everything home too much.
You would have worked in peds, I feel like.
Maybe, but I take it home. I take it home. I take my clients home, you know?
Really?
When y'all are having a hard time in life, I pray. That's controversial probably, but I have prayed
not controversial.
While I'm washing y'all's hair.
Yeah.
If I can feel that you are just not...
I'm glad you don't do that to me because I'd cry.
And I do it in my head. You will never know.
Most of the time, I don't know what it is about.
You will never know.
Prayer lately is not lately.
Yeah.
But just in the past year and a half or so since I've gotten closer to God.
Sunday, yeah.
If I sit there, anytime I have to do it at the end of the day, I'm like, I can't talk to you right now, Jesus. I did my makeup today.
Literally.
We're going to have to wait until
later.
I
don't know what I was talking about.
Oh, nursing school.
Oh.
And I said you'd be so good at peds.
I really think, I could have been good, but I went from a high school, and this is nothing against my high school. Hicks High School has a great curriculum, great people. I went from a high school, my graduating class was 15 kids.
That's it?
15 kids.
Oh, Lord.
I was top 5 of 15 kids. I was class president.
Congratulations!
So, yes, I had these accomplishments, but it was out of 15 people. So then I get to tech, and my English class is 300.
Yeah.
So I did think I kind of got lost in the...
Mm-hmm.
In the
were you prepared for the material? Did you?
The material, yes.
Okay.
I was prepared for the material. So
at least they prepared you.
Yes. Now,
because I thought that's where your question was going earlier with homeschooling.
That is my question.
Oh, okay.
With homeschooling and private,
are you going to be
prepared? That is my question. I think it would
just depend. I wouldn't. So that I think is per kid.
Okay.
I wouldn't put. Let's say Bradley, for example, he's my oldest one.
Yeah.
I would not put him into a program or private school or outer school or whatever if I thought what he wanted to do after high school was go to college.
Right.
Because I don't think an outdoorsy adventure hands-on school would be preparing him for college.
Okay.
So I think that would depend honestly on your kid. Your kid.
Right. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wouldn't put him in a situation in which would ill prepare him for what he wanted to do in the future. I know Bradley's 11. He has verbally said he wants to go into the Navy. His daddy was in the Navy first and then went to the Army. And his daddy was like, you want to go see the world? You go in the Navy. Mm-hmm. The Army just sends you to places. You could be OCONUS to Germany or Korea or something. Mm-hmm. But the Navy, he said, I visited 16 countries in 2 years. It was phenomenal. And so that's what Bradley wants to do. He wants to get on a little boat, submarine, something, and he wants to go all over the world.
Yeah.
So I'm confident if I were to put Bradley into an outdoorsy school, a hands-on school,
he would do fine.
He would do just fine because he needs real-world smarts more than he needs book smarts. Now, he is incredibly smart. I just had that conference with a teacher, and I don't know how, and I know some people out there are going to have kids, and they can relate to this. I helped him with his homework the other night. We were sitting at the kitchen table. He's like, because he's got ADHD real bad, he's on medicine because he had a seizure from it a couple years ago, so I took him off medicine. Plus, he said, it makes me feel like I'm not myself. I don't feel anything.
It does.
He's like, I'm not feel happy. I don't feel sad. He said, I just don't feel at all. So that's kind of scary.
And from a child who used to take ADD medicine, I don't have ADHD, I have ADD. When you come off of it, because when you turn 18 and you're no longer in school, they rip it. And you have to now learn. I have thoughts.
You're not on autopilot anymore.
I have thoughts that this is why most of a lot of people my age and a little older have went to meth. Because when you're ripped off of it, you are then in control of you, and you haven't felt you in 18 years because you've been medicated. And so you are like, everything is dumbed down, and then you go, you know how I said I hug Eric and the loudness goes from loud to quiet? It goes from quiet to loud. Yeah. So that I'm glad you made that decision as a mom.
I mean, I'm not judging other people.
No, I am not either, but please be mindful of them when they get older and that medicine is taken away from them.
We told Bradley when we took him off of it, we said, and I hate talking about my kids.
No, I know. But somebody might be struggling with this.
I know. I just, so much of my life is, like, I try to shelter so much of my life because, they're my kids. And as far as, it goes back to the protecting your kids thing. I am top tier protecting my kids. You'll never see me put any of our family drama, none of it on the internet. It's none of your business. Like, you'll never know.
Nope.
Over my dead body. And everybody else that's like, oh, I'll go to jail for my kid. Like, what good am I to my kids?
Yeah.
And jail.
You'll go to jail for your kid, but are you living for your kid?
Yeah, seriously.
Are you making the changes in your life to actually
be you taking accountability?
A good role model?
No, I can't. So I'm definitely not going to, social media is like a photo album for your kids. Like, even now, 10 and 11, they want to, I'll be on my laptop, and Grace will say, can I open up all your photos, like, on your Facebook? Because it's like a photo album for them. And back in the day, we used to make little albums on Facebook. And so all of mine are like Germany, Iraq, Egypt, Afghanistan, our wedding. When Darla and I were traveling Europe together, like, she wants to go look through all of those. But guess what? They also have access to everything you ever said, ever, and any photos you ever posted. And so I just, protecting your kids on the daily, like, physical safety, sure, that's once in a while you have to protect your kids from that. Honestly, the biggest thing about protecting my kids in this generation, in this day and age, is on the internet and everyday life. And you'll never see me putting anything messy about my kids or our personal life. If Darla and I ever separated or divorced ever,
Facebook wouldn't know.
I mean, you might figure that out eventually, but you'll never see my husband. And we've discussed this
I have more respect
at
for him
lengths. And you either learn from people because out of spite or because of. And we have had so many discussions as a couple as far as, like, and remember, listen, we've almost been divorced a couple times. And in those conversations of, like, and I feel like you should probably have those conversations anyway, but how you would move forward and how you would deal with your kids and people in general. Just keep that messy stuff off of the internet and away from your kids. And I know not trying to be judgy, but, like, and I know I've not been there, but for the love, just love your kids more than you love
your kids,
pissing other people off.
Love your kids. And no, that might be too much.
I know, it's a lot. You learn from or out of spite of people.
Yes.
So, I don't remember what I was saying of Bradley. Oh, I told him, I said, I know everybody's like, y'all are all over the place.
We are. This is our everyday conversation.
It's our everyday conversation. So I said, when we took him off the medicine, I said, you're now no longer, you don't have an assistant on board. You don't have autopilot on. This is all you all the time now. You need to understand. And he's 11 now, so I think he was 9 when we took him off, 8 or 9. And he was only on it for probably like 2 years. But and we tried different ones too, because one med would make him, like, really nauseous all the time. Like, it takes a while to find something that works for your kids.
It does.
But he he just didn't like who he was because he didn't know who he was on it. And so I told him, it's all you now. Grades, actions, reactions. And I think a lot of people don't teach their kids enough about action and reaction. And I just shared a post yesterday about, like, not every action needs a reaction.
Yes.
That could be a whole episode in and of itself.
Yes. But yeah, I was prepared academically. I was not prepared socially. I was very mature socially. I had older brothers and I hung out with, I had a social life. But going from a tiny town, we talked about this in Miss Debbie's episode, where everybody knows me, everybody knows my mom, everybody knows, and then where you have a village, you have your village, and then go into a town where I knew one person.
Nobody knows and nobody cares about you.
And nobody knows that I'm Lacie Jade and everybody loves me and I'm funny and sweet. And everybody just walks past you and, and you find your little group. And I guess that was my fault in college. I didn't go out to the sororities and the parties.
You didn't put yourself out there.
I didn't put myself out there because I thought it was all parties and I'm not a big part, even
count
back in
your
the day.
blessings, because a lot of people probably went out to those parties and nowadays are like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I did all that.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I did major in marriage. I met my husband.
You majored in marriage?
I majored in marriage. I met my husband at Louisiana Tech.
Oh, you're being funny right now.
I'm being funny.
I was like, is that
I majored in marriage.
I mean, I've never been at Tech. I don't know if that's a degree program.
No, it's not a degree. I majored in marriage. I met my husband while I was there. Brought him back down here. Waited 2 years. Realized that I love people. I went from wanting to be a nurse, then I wanted to be an English professor, and then I wanted to work with autistic children. Kind of like a counselor.
Okay.
Whatever, trying to help them and their parents understand each other. So then I really got to thinking about it, and I loved makeup, and I'd worked with my neighbor that I grew up around, Becca Ames. I'd been her receptionist and stuff. I was like, I think I want to do hair.
Yeah.
And come to find out, most of my children clientele are autistic.
Huh.
I love to be a safe place for my autistic kiddos. Yeah. My special needs kiddos to come get a haircut.
Right.
So I have that. I work with people every day. I could be seen as kind of like a counselor. So I did get best of both worlds, but that just wasn't where I was supposed to be. Right. I was supposed to be in the hair world. Yeah. Not the nurse world. So it's okay to change. Oh. But I think that went from not having that break between high school and college, not really knowing what I wanted to do. So I just went into nursing. Right. And I wasted all that financial aid. Oh. All those grants.
Oh. Well, yours is grants. Mine is student loans.
Oh, I had to get that for hair school.
Sister.
Yeah, I had to get that for hair school.
I went and got half that MBA, and I'm still paying on it.
We live and we learn.
We live and we learn.
A bought lesson. Wait. A lesson learned is a lesson bought, or something like that.
I don't know what it is.
My mom says something like that.
I had I've been talking with the chamber about putting on a workshop for people because I believe in growing our town. I will say this until I'm blue in the face. And I've discussed this with a couple people casually as like an opportunity because I'm super stretched in my schedule, but I'm invested in here and growing our community. I love DeRidder. I love Rose Pine. I love this whole area. I think people are just so awesome, and we
have a great community.
Gosh,
like when something goes down, our community comes together. Like Darl's Wreck, I remember there was all kind of stuff.
I got phone calls out the wazoo about that, and people just willing to help all over. And I'm not one to receive help. I'm not that girl. So I did struggle.
Was saying yes a lot?
No, I didn't say yes. I said no a lot, and I did struggle because I said no a lot. I wish I weren't the way that I am, but I'm hyper independent.
I'm that same way.
But we did have several people help us out, and it was insanely kind. And they didn't even ask me. They just did it. And there's a couple things I'm still finding out about later that Darl has told me that some so and so went and did. But I really encourage people, if you're in the community that we are, like, start. I think the way that you speak about something is the way that it is, the way that your brain perceives it, and then also how other people perceive it. I think it's contagious. I think if you start talking your community up, I think it elevates the entire community. And I love this area so much, and I think it's so fat. I've lived in like 11 different places. And I decided to make this one my home. And I decided to make this one where I raised a family. And I decided to make this one where I started and grew a business. And I think I've mentioned to several people, I want to put on a workshop for people who are interested in or have already started a boutique specifically. I mean, I can help other similar industries probably with a little bit of like, there's like a wispy in the air.
Yeah, I'm putting on Do Not Disturb.
With some marketing things maybe here and there. But specifically, I would like DeRitter to be where people think of like, man, we should take a day of shopping. Let's get a van or a bus together and go on a crawl to shop and eat in DeRitter. Like, I want that for this town. I want people to load up and come for a day on Saturday like they do in Natchitoches, like they do in Beaumont, like they do in Monroe. Like, that's what I want for us. And so I'm wanting to put on these workshops.
Yeah. Did a bus come for y'all's Galentine's crawl?
Not there. I don't know if there was a bus, maybe. I think there was a van like full of women that came for the crawl. But like our last crawl that we did, or no, our last event, what was it, in January or December? One of those, because we do events every month. But like one of those, we had a giant like Greyhound bus come with women who were going from Lake Charles to here to
That's what
Alexandria.
I saw, because I was at that, I went in that new store that opened in town. I call it the junk store, and that's not a good name for it.
The junk store?
The Amazon...
Oh,
the
it's
hot
like the deals. Yeah.
Thing. I was in there just to go check it out, and I came out, and there was these women with like antiques from the little Mennonite store. What is that called? It's in front of that place by Tony's. Yeah. And they come out, and they were carrying antiques, and then in Tony's there was a Greyhound, and I was like, oh, they came for Galentine's! I was like, oh my gosh, they're here.
So I want that for us, like every weekend.
That's beautiful, yeah.
And so I mentioned it to a couple other business owners in town. One of them was like, why would you want to do that? That's like your competition. No, it's not. There was another question. One person said, how do you deal with like competition or comparing yourself? Okay, as a business owner in a town where there are other businesses like the one you own, how do you compete or compare yourself to the others? I don't.
You know what I have really started using? You could be the ripest peach on the tree.
Oh, the peach.
And not everybody likes peaches. Like, how many hairstylists are there in DeRitter?
Probably a lot.
How many people are there in DeRitter? 13,000.
Yeah, but everybody is so incredibly different. So, and I know this
we're all different.
I know people are going to be like, because your vision is so low, and I don't say that in a disrespectful way. I just think you don't see the forest for the trees. I think, you know how many, we just discussed this with Caitlin a few weeks ago about there being so many realtors. Yeah. You know, there are so many hairdressers. There's whatever. I am not competing with anybody at my store. Number one, because my mission is different than anyone else's, because it's mine. Yeah. I have a clear mission every single day, and it's not, my mission has nothing to do with the store. No, with clothes. Yeah. With any of that. That's never my mission. My mission is always my mission is relationships. Yeah. And
I love building relationships.
God bless America. I have discussed this all weekend with Darryl. I'm like, we went to go get crawfish on, what night was it? Friday.
The crawfish line.
Did you? Yeah. So Friday night, my parents came into town, or was it Thursday night? So Thursday night, my parents came into town, and we were sitting. It was after the game. We went and watched Rose Pine basketball play, and it was
way to go, girls.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about it, and I know that several of our supporters or whatever over there are going to listen to this, and they're going to be like, yes. Okay.
Are they going to
they're in Hammond right now.
Oh, way to go.
Because we're recording this on Monday, y'all. Yeah. So they're playing tonight.
Okay.
At 8 o'clock tonight.
Okay.
And if they win this one, they play on Friday.
So this is first rounds.
This is first rounds. Okay. I guess that's what you call it. They play twice.
Yep.
So they play tonight, and if they win, they play Friday at 2 o'clock. And I'm taking the day off, and I'm riding down there with Gracie.
Yeah.
Because anytime you make it to state, we cancel school.
Yes.
So
it's a big thing down here. Anytime
Thursday night, we had just watched the high school girls. Shout out to Coach C.T. Cali.
Yes.
I am such a huge fan of that whole family.
Yes.
I love them so much. I just saw MK, his daughter. She works over at the Crawfish to Go.
Yes, that's what I was talking about you with.
And she used to coach Gracie for cheerleading, and then she's babysat my kids.
Okay.
I just love that whole family so much. Gracie is really good friends with little Brooklyn. Anyway, so we went and watched the game. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And then we went home. My parents were there already waiting for us, and I was like, I'm really wanting some crawfish. So I call up Sadie. I call up Crawfish to Go, and I said, hey, are y'all still open? It's after 8 o'clock. They're supposed to close at 8. It's like 8:10. And I said, hey, are y'all still open? Somebody, by the grace of God, answered the phone. Are y'all still open? And they're like, and they ask, are we still open? And I was like, if Sadie's there, tell her it's Brittany McVicker. Can I please have some crawfish? And she's like, yeah, we'll hold her some. And so I went up there, and I just thought, like, how awesome that we make these relationships with people to where it's like, I'm sure that made, like, how does she feel to where she's like, it's Brittany McVicker on the phone. She says she wants some crawfish. Like, it has to make you feel good. When people are like calling me saying, hey, I'm not going to be there till like 5 after 6 o'clock and we close at 6, and they're like, tell Brittany, can she stay open? And I'm like, yeah, I'll stay open for you. Like, we make these relationships with people, and it's so cool. And our kids get to know them, and, she's, like, handing Olive a sucker, in the back seat. And she's like, who's that? I said, that's Sadie, the crawfish lady.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, me and Gentry do that. Like, she knows if there's an event at school that you have to have a special shirt. We're going to see Miss Page at Lottie Da.
Mm-hmm.
Because you pick out the little design, pick out the little shirt, make it for her, send her to school. So, and she knows,
you can do
the
same thing at Bayou Vinyl.
And really?
They don't do enough marketing. Let me just tell you.
No, because I didn't know that.
I've thought about this several times, because the entire space is blank t-shirts, kids shirts, sweatshirts. You go pick out whatever you want.
And they make it there, they heat press it there?
And then you go pick out your transfers. There's like thousands of them. And then that you say, here's my shirt, here's my transfer. They press it for you on the spot, and you walk out with a new shirt. So, like, literally for Gracie's birthday, I can go in there because they have kids stuff, right?
I do that for Gentry too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And honestly, they need a social, like, if they were to invest, like, I'm not their business, so, like, but I have thought about this in my brain several times, every time I go in there.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you would just have a social media person
for school
employed
days
and just showed people the process, like, walk in the door, look around, pick a color, pick a transfer, pick multiple. They have, like, the patches too. Take it up front. They press it for you on the spot. You're ready to go.
Listen, I am that mom on those special 100-day of school.
Mm-hmm.
We don't make the shirt. We go and pick out the print and the shirt, and they press it.
Yeah, that's all they do there. That's literally all they do. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, everybody thinks that I don't know what people think that they do.
I thought that it was for, I thought that mainly, like, if I made shirts, I could go there and get my supplies.
I mean, sure, you can do that too. But you can be just Joe Blow off the street, walk in, pick out your sweatshirt, pick out your transfer or your patch or whatever, and you say, hey, can you marry these two together? And then they do.
Wow,
and then you walk out with something new.
I love that.
But, like, it's so cool because our little tour bus, idea could bring people there, and they could just make their own stuff all day long.
Literally.
You know how many, like,
I'm probably going to go by there
the possibilities are freaking, they're not open on a Monday.
That's okay, me either. I can't even be mad. This episode of Big Girl Britches is brought to you by Freedom Restoration. Y'all, when it comes to your home, you want the job done right by folks who you can trust. That's where Freedom Restoration comes in. Veteran owned, licensed, and insured, they're the go-to home improvement experts for Beauregard and Vernon parishes. Whether it's repairs, renovations, or a full-on transformation, they bring quality, integrity, and a hard work ethic to every project. Need a crew that shows up and gets it done? Call Freedom Restoration today, because your home deserves the best. Freedom Restoration, built on service, driven by integrity. Now back to Big Girl Britches.
Yeah, see, I can't do all that. We're open on Mondays for sure because we have to receive mail.
Listen,
packages.
I've been debating on a lot of different schedule changes in my life, but I can't take away Saturdays completely because I thought about just working Monday through Friday. But I have a lot of my people who rely on Saturdays because they're working people.
Yeah.
So I think I'll keep my 2 Saturdays a month.
We have I don't mind working like Saturdays. So the store, we try to have good coverage on Saturday. And I love when I can, in between all the ball schedule. I love being at the shop on Saturdays.
Yeah.
The best people come in on Saturdays.
I know.
Literally.
I know.
The best conversations. People bring their kids. You know, it's just a family environment. Like, I love it. I don't know how to describe it.
That's what I love about our shop. And on Saturdays or days when school is out, I know what you're saying because moms will come in and they'll have their 2 kids. And the 2 kids, we are a much different salon than some people. We allow you to bring your kids. Now, we do expect you to watch your kids while you're there, obviously.
Yeah.
But you don't have a babysitter. You need those babies to sit right there beside you with their toys, coloring book, tablet,
and y'all have
whatever.
a huge space, so literally they can bring Monopoly and play.
They can bring a board game. They can sit on the floor. Like, it's okay. But I love it because we want to be that salon that you send your husband to, that you send your dad to, you send your kids, your wife, your mom. Like, we want the great-grandma down to the itty-bitty baby.
So your whole shop is closed on Monday or just you?
No, I just don't work on Mondays.
So do the girls work on Mondays?
Yep, it's open. Every day but Sunday, our salon is open.
So Bradley needs a haircut, but here's the thing. He needs baseball stitches on the side in a fade.
Riley's your girl.
Because I'm that mom. Listen, I'm not a big planner, a header, and cutesy Pinteresty mom. I'm not that mom. I will pay those Pinterest moms to make my kids something all day, every day.
Hey, you homemaker moms?
Oh,
my mom.
Easter's coming.
What?
Easter's coming.
Oh,
if
yeah.
There's anybody
I thought you said Esther's coming.
Listen,
I was like, what
if this exists, I have to tell you something else about food. Okay. So, but here, if there is anybody who does and maybe you know somebody locally for this.
Okay.
Do we have anybody locally? I don't know if my kid's listening to this right now because she's in the other room.
Why did I do this so gracefully?
Who puts together Easter baskets, like ready to go for like different age groups, to where literally you could just drop it off on my front door. Like,
okay, listen.
Early in the morning. You know how the cheerleaders will do like the egg drops for fundraisers? No. Which also, Rose Pine cheerleaders typically do that. So if you're doing that this year, please make sure you send me a sign-up form because I do that every year.
I would love to do that, but my dog thinks he's got to protect the whole house.
Oh, no.
And I would have to either put him inside or he would eat them.
Well, yeah, you can put him inside that night.
Yeah, I'll put him inside that night. That's actually a really smart
the cheerleaders do the egg drop that night. You know, sometime between like 8 o'clock at night and whatever in the morning, they come and drop eggs for a fundraiser. But now, I mean, if there's somebody out there who also like puts together
a basket,
whole baskets, and you get to like pick the gender and the age and stuff.
That's actually a really good idea.
You know, and make it like bougie. You know,
Someone make me a craft.
I want it done, but I don't ever not have my kids with me.
Yeah.
And if you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Also, my mom said, this is Janie Sue wisdom, and if you know Janie Sue, you know you can take it to the bank. She said that one of these homemaker moms, you know, like one of these moms that stay at home and have time. Not like you stay at home, you have all the time. But if you have free time,
but if you do stuff during the day for yourself,
and you are wanting to be an
or whatever.
entrepreneur, she said that it would be so smart for a woman to get all the local schools' days. 100th day of school, neon day, pink out day, and make shirts, make pants, make little outfits, headbands, stuff for these days. Because moms like me and you, I'd be like, what you got for the Dalmatian day?
Yeah, for real.
You got the headband and the tail and the shirt?
Yeah, sign me up. Whoever's Rose Pine
Yeah.
Whoever has the Rose Pride calendar.
K.R. Hanchey.
I have a 5th grader and a 6th, but I
Yeah.
don't think they do dress-up days anymore for 5th and 6th grade as much.
They do like Red Ribbon Week.
Yeah.
And Homecoming Week.
I think this is Dr. Seuss week, actually.
Oh, yeah, it's Read Across America Week.
Mm-hmm.
So Friday, Gentry has to dress up as a book character and
Well,
parade.
you're on your own because this don't come out till Thursday. I don't think anybody can get you, but you can go to Bayou Vinyl. They've already got all their Dr. Seuss
You just
stuff.
said I was on my own, and that was just everything you've ever said. No, I'm kidding.
Go to Bayou Vinyl. They've got all their
Did you
stuff
like that
out
fake
already.
Cry? I actually had tears coming.
Okay, there was another one on here that we needed to address. So we discussed the compete and compare. We don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't compete or compare yourself to anybody.
I want all hairstylists to just be friends. I want us to all just like...
Well, y'all all have different personalities,
We all
styles, schedules.
Yes.
Like, even I discussed about the masseuse thing. Like,
Yeah.
everybody has different schedules, different styles. And I think you can appreciate multiple. I don't think you have to keep going back to the same thing. I know.
I recommend multiple salons daily.
Well, I mean, I don't know how, I'm not in the hair industry, so I don't know about, like, going to a different person every single time. You're kind of, like, rolling the dice of your hair, like, knowing what does well for you and what doesn't. But as far as, like, my masseuse goes, I book multiple all the time, you know? Pedicures, I go multiple places for that. Like, I don't think you need to stick with, like, just one. Variety is the spice of life, man.
No, yeah.
And everybody's
like
got
you
different
said, we're
schedules.
All different.
Okay, there was another one I was going to ask on here. When someone speaks negatively of you, how do you respond? It depends. Did they tell me? Did they do it in front of me? Did I hear this through the grapevine? Are we, like, repeating gossip at this point? If somebody speaks negatively of you, how do you respond? I don't, because that's a reaction.
Yeah, are we meaning, like, you say, hey, Lacie, you need to take that off Facebook.
I think that's a criticism.
That's not speaking negative.
Maybe constructive. It could be
right, because I'd be like
seen as constructive. I've said that to multiple friends, like, hey, let's not do this. You shouldn't do that.
But are they meaning like, well, she said Lacie run around her husband?
I think that's probably what they mean. But that sounds like gossipy.
First off, me and Eric are solid, and we know that, so I don't need to prove that to anybody. You know, like if that, just say it, like, so
sounds
that's how
like
I would.
Actually happened.
No, that's just how I would respond. I'd be like, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Respond. I don't think I would either. Every action deserves or warrants a reaction. If someone is talking negatively about me, either they disagree with something, like
your opinion,
down to the root cause of why they're speaking ill of you. They either don't agree with something you did, and you might not even agree with something that you did.
Absolutely.
Here's the thing.
There's things I do that I don't agree with, and then I'm like, crap.
Yeah. Yeah. Oftentimes, I think people change.
Yeah.
I change all the time.
Yeah.
I'm not the same person
woman I was 3 years ago.
No.
I used to be very gossipy, very messy.
Right. Like, messy Lacie is different from, like,
Lacie
now
today.
Lacie. And you might even be different 3 months or 3 years from now. And you might be even more, like, away from that.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, people change. And you might not agree with something you did a month ago. But how would you ever know that unless you directed the issue to them? Here's the thing. When you are going and telling other people something that you disagree with about someone else, you're not giving them an opportunity to either clarify, perhaps there's a miscommunication, or you don't even know if they agree with the decision that they make. I have said things, and oftentimes nowadays, I own up to it, and I apologize to the person that it's about. So if you were bearing witness to something that I did that you disagree with, you don't even know if I have already discussed it with another person, apologized, repented, like, personally. You don't know how I feel about it because you've never discussed it with me. So honestly, if someone is speaking ill about you, they didn't say it to you. And I know that sounds really generic.
Let your character speak.
Right. Yeah. And that's hard because as a individual, I don't really want to explain myself. I will when it's to you. I will say like, "Hey, I didn't mean to do this.
Right.
I apologize.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna work on it. You know, like for instance, I even apologized to you. I was like, "Hey, on that first episode, I talked too much."
You did, and I was like, "I was good."
And I apologized to Lacie because I didn't know it until I listened. You know, I walked in on Darryl and he was like, "You are talking a lot." And I said, "Oh my gosh, I am never shutting up." And so I texted Lacie and I said, "I apologize for consuming so much of the conversation. I'm going to do my best to not do that anymore."
Yeah.
You know? And I think old Brittany would have just let it lie and not said anything and just let my behavior show, which is fine too, I guess. But I wanted you to know that I acknowledged the behavior and I was making corrections to the future in case it was something that you were stewing on.
I wasn't.
But I was making that consideration of you.
No, I love that.
Yeah.
I get that because I am I'll learn behavior and make changes in my behavior from then on out. But maybe I need to take the apology part into it. Because, like, I am knowing that I'm doing it and making the change.
Well, because what if the other person in a scenario is stewing on it?
Yeah.
Now, I am oblivious to a lot of things. Somebody might have a problem with something I'm doing. And you might even be exhibiting a social cue that you are bothered by something that I do. And I'm not going to pick up on it. Because I'm so hyper-focused on the mission, I don't know that you have an issue. That's why I'm such a clear communicator. I would prefer if you would just say, "Hey, this has been bothering me," because legit, I will never know.
And see, I'm the type of person where if I'm talking, I can see someone, I can like feel someone's.
Oh, see, I'm not. You're an empath.
And I know immediately that their mood has changed.
No.
I can tell when someone walks in the room if their mood is off.
And so, okay, and I understand that. What I had learned from counseling. Because and I'll be real honest, like as a kid, I felt I was responsible for everyone else's emotions around me and making them feel better.
Yeah.
And as an adult,
I've struggled with that too.
And my demeanor is different in my friendships versus at work. Yeah. Which is also tough because I am also friends with all of my staff.
Same.
Now, I know that not everything is about me. Not everything is about me. If someone is in a bad mood, they could be projecting.
Yeah.
Because something else has set them off. And now they could be, you know what I mean, bringing it to me on my porch, even though it didn't start there. So now, if someone is exhibiting behavior, like you just said, where they're bothered by something and you can feel it, I don't address it because that's your feeling. And some people might disagree. That's fine for you. But for me, I don't need to carry anyone else's emotional load because mine is already enough for me to bear on my own.
I had to learn that. So
if you come in, like if my friends meet me for lunch and they are obviously bothered, I will say, you know, how's everything been going lately? I won't say specifically about their behavior right now. I'll just say, how's everything been going lately? Is it good? If they broach the topic and they want to bring something up, they have brought it to me.
Yeah. I need to get better with that too.
I'm not going to say, you seem like you're in a bad mood.
Oh, no, I'm bad because I'm like, your mood changed immediately. And I'll be like, and this is what's bothering you. And I do it with Riley a lot. I'll be like, your mood changed immediately and it's this. And she'll like look at me and she goes, I didn't even know that was what was wrong. And she'll start crying and she's like, how did you know? And I'm like, I felt it. And until I figure out what it is, it's like,
if I'm in a bad mood for something else, I don't want to continue putting it on that person.
No.
So not only I don't want you to bring it to me if it's not my fault, I don't want you to dump on me.
Absolutely.
I don't want to dump on you either.
Yeah.
And that's hard as a person who carries lots of load.
Yes.
But if I'm at work and somebody shows up to work seemingly disgruntled, now my work is different because my shop is a safe space and it's only happy. I do solutions. I don't do problems. Everything is fixable. I tell the girls that all the time. They'll be like, oh my gosh, I made a mistake. I'm like, it's not a big deal.
Right.
Everything is fixable. We only do solutions. This is a safe space from the real ugly life. We don't bring that in here because I definitely don't want to. I'm not going to be miserable at work, and I don't want you to be miserable at work. And I want this to not even feel like work. Yeah. I want it to look forward to coming here all the time. Other people, I want them to feel it, and they do. It feels different. It feels like, hey girl, like we're having a dance party, we're hanging clothes up, we're like shipping stuff, and we're having a good time. Like that, so if one of them comes in grumpy, I tend to ignore it. If I feel like it's severe, I'm like, what is it? What can we do to make this better? How can we shift the energy? But a lot of the times, if it's like outside of work, like the negative behavior or the negative like emotion, unless you're going to bring it to me like it's an issue with me, I'm going to assume it's an issue with somebody else and I'm going to distract you with something positive.
Absolutely.
Because I don't want to dwell on it.
No, I'm not a dweller.
No. Other people might want to, but I don't want you to dwell on it.
I want you to like, if we're really good friends, like say you come in and you're like, something goes wrong. Let's sit here for a minute, talk it out, and then let's start this, get your feelings out, and then let's distract you. So I get that.
Because if you're distracted, you shift to something else.
Yeah.
By the time you're done with that new topic completely, you've probably calmed down.
Yes.
About what was bothering you before, and maybe you can separate that emotional and logical from, okay, my reaction probably wasn't warranted.
Yeah.
That heavily, because we're adults. We're not prepubescent teenagers. And we're able to mitigate, our own emotions.
Thank God we're not prepubescent teenagers.
It's exhausting raising them.
Oh, I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
Okay, so what else was on this list? How can someone in a town that faces negativity and division help bring positivity and unity? I think leadership, leading with positivity and unity is key. I think if you're constantly being negative about something, I can't deal. We can't be friends if you are constantly negative. I'm not one of those that's going to save you, from your own negativity. I can't.
And if every time we talk, it's just, like, no matter what we talk about, it goes back to the negative, like, whatever the negative was. Like, oh, well, blah, blah, blah is doing this now. I don't care.
Yeah.
And why do you care? You divorced him 4 years ago. I don't actually know. This is just
right. You're making stuff up. Yeah. No, the negativity all day long.
Yeah, like, and why do we always have to go back?
I think there are some people I run into where we discuss the same thing every time we see each other, and I'm like, I think you think you have to discuss this with me because we discussed this last time and you don't have any commonalities with me. I don't know. Yeah. You don't have to, though. You can literally just be like, I just came from my kids, blah, blah, blah. I'm super excited about it. And then we can talk about that. But the negativity thing, I think being...
Oh, you want to know something that I have...
Oh, I forgot to tell you about the food thing, too.
Yeah,
tell me your thing first.
Okay. You don't have to talk down on others to be good at what you do. No. You don't have to call out hairstylists as an example. Just you don't have to call out how bad the cut was, if it came from someone else before you did it. Just let your work afterwards speak for it. Right. You don't have to call out these people on Facebook because they're bad work. Let your good work show for it. If you're good, you don't have to talk down on others to be good. I don't think you would even have the mind. If you're legitimately good at what you do, I think you evolve into the kind of person that doesn't even have those thoughts. Yeah. I don't my think thoughts is maybe they're having a bad day or maybe they're new. Yeah. You know how many haircuts I probably messed up when I was a new stylist? Right. I don't think your brain, if you're really good at what you do, I don't even think your brain goes to that. And when people bring it up, you're kind of like,
what an odd thing to say. You know, I don't think what I do for a living, I don't think I'm any better than anyone else because we're all completely different and we have different goals and ambitions and missions.
There's probably hairstylists in DeRitter way better than me that I want to learn from.
Oh my gosh.
You know?
I love oh my gosh, girl.
I want to go shadow. I want to shadow a barber.
Really? Why?
They just do some things with men's cuts that I just want to watch and shadow and learn.
See, I love that. It's so hot.
I want to go back to school.
I want to learn all the time, and I wish I had this passion for learning when I was younger.
I actually need to, I think there's a couple barbershops in Leesville that I may need to just reach out to them, but they do the edge ups and it's just like tailored men's cuts, and there's something about the art of a barbershop. Yeah. I want to go learn.
I think that's awesome. If I, like I said, I wanted to do like a workshop for other people wanting to open a boutique or had opened a boutique and needed some, maybe some focus or redirection or like help with something. If there is such a thing for established boutiques like mine, like what I do for a living, if there is such a thing as like a workshop for me to scale on a whole different level, somebody better be inviting me.
Absolutely.
Because I want to learn how to do things better, more efficient, you know, a better use of my time, all of the above.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
I need someone to come help me get a game plan of better use of my space. I don't know if you've ever been in the back of my salon, but what you see, I have a whole same amount of space behind those swinging doors.
Really?
Yeah.
You could knock down a wall.
Oh, I could knock down several walls.
Really?
Same amount of space in the front that everyone sees.
Are you allowed to modify your space?
Absolutely. As long as I leave it in better shape than we found it. Same as or better shape. We gutted it.
Oh my.
When we moved in, we gutted it completely. So everything you see in there
because now
is what
I'm gonna go in and start giving you ideas.
No.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, me and Riley have big plans, and we just have all these ideas, and then we're like, wait, which one are we actually going with, and which one works?
Oh, there's so many possibilities.
I have a lot of things to talk to you about. And I know that y'all want to hear too, but some things we have to keep hidden in our pocket until we're ready to.
I think a good rule of thumb for when you're in business is play really close to the chest until you're executing. Not when you're ready to execute, but when you're already executing. Yep. There are several things that I have like let loose of information-wise what I was intending on doing. And then that information was absolutely used and undermined. So I have learned lessons. I am not going to dwell on it in a negative way. I'm going to turn that into positivity and say that I have just learned lots of lessons that have made my brain a little bit bigger.
Yep.
That's all.
That's why my head's so big. Got all this knowledge.
You just got so much knowledge.
So much knowledge. But I have, I actually find myself, in my mind, I think I'm being an intrusive person. Because people will sit down in my chair, and I've probably done it to you. I have done it to you, especially for market. And I'm like, so what do you do when you get there? Well, do you walk in, and it's just like, you know? No, but I just want to know. I want to pick your brain, and that's how I get to know you. You know, like, I want to know how you tick. That way, like, if we're friends and someone asks me your opinion or it's my time to decide for you, I know. I know how you're going to think. I know the coffee you're going to order. Like, I know, you know. I
don't know if everybody wants to see how my brain ticks.
Yeah.
Because when I get really passionate about something, like right now I'm trying to speak slow and deliberate. When I get very passionate about something, I get hyped up and I get very intense.
Yes.
I have had people in meetings tell me, you're like really intense. And I don't, you know, I just get really excited, and that's what makes me tick. I love working.
Yes,
it's fun. I love serving people.
Yes,
in the most fun ways. So when I go to market, I am insanely busy. I take now at least 2 people with me. And we work the entire time.
And it's just cool. I picked her brain when she got back because you came to me, the next day?
Yeah.
Whatever. And I'm like, tell me everything. So as someone, I could open up a boutique in my place, but I don't really want to. But as someone who doesn't know me, you could be like, this girl's asking me all about this so she can go. No. I'm like, I want to know.
I could tell somebody every single thing I do, and they'll never do it.
No, yeah.
I've coached a couple people over the years about, ways to be successful in my industry, and none of the above have ever done it.
Yeah.
I've given advice. They don't take it.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, and that's fine because they're not me, so they might not enjoy the way that I do things. So, but I could show people X, Y, and Z, and this is what I do. Yeah. Number one, everybody's going to know that and you should never copy anyone else. Mm-hmm. If you ever do X, Y, Z the same way I do X, Y, Z, 75 customers are going to send me messages about it, and you're going to look real dumb.
Yeah.
So that's number one. You shouldn't do that because your reputation.
Right.
Always protect that and be original.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Now, I can tell you exactly what I do to where you understand the amount of work that's put into something. Yeah. And then you do things your own way.
Yeah. My thing for picking your brain for market was like, I had seen a picture, and to me, it seemed like this person stood on the bottom floor and took their camera and shown up, and it looked like 40 floors.
It's 16.
Okay. That's a lot. And so I was like, Brittany, how do you walk in on ground one, look around at all these stores, look up at all these floors, and don't just like go crawl in a hole?
So I don't go to all 16. It does get overwhelming though. I only shop 4 floors. There's several that are only temporary. I know a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Yeah, it's so cool to know.
There are a couple floors that normally when market is not going on, they are completely empty.
Okay.
Because those are for temporary vendors. So those people are only there for specific markets. Dallas Market will have a home and gift market. They will have an apparel market. They'll have a children's market. They'll have a Western market. They have all these different markets. So there's multiple floors that they're completely empty, and they're only there full for specific events. And so I can go shop those temporary ones while I'm there. I can also go shop cash and carry while I'm there, which is a different floor. Sometimes they add on a separate temporary cash and carry floor. And then anything inside of the Trade Mart or the permanent World Trade Center showrooms, you have to have a brick and mortar. Typically, anything in the Trade Mart, you have to have a brick and mortar store. So like an online boutique would be very limited at market to what they could do. They could go to all the temp floors and purchase from them or order right with them. They could go to the cash and carry floor. But as far as the Trade Mart permanent showrooms and the World Trade Center permanent showrooms, typically they won't even talk to you unless you have a storefront. So I have a storefront. I'm able to shop wherever I want to. Now, a lot of those places will have a very high minimum of ordering. So you might have to spend $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 on your initial order, especially for brick and mortar. So I'm able to shop wherever I want to. It's just I'm limited on time. I only go for 3 days. I used to go for 2. I now go for 3. I've contemplated adding another day and going for 4. And another girl. I ideally would like to take 3 to 4 girls with me. Yeah. Because we have enough. Like, I don't just go to shop. Like, other people, they just go to shop and order right. I don't do that. I actually go.
Your boutique.
I shop. I sell the entire time. The girls shop the entire time. It's huge.
I know you said, like, the chat is popping the whole time.
Chat's popping. If you've never done a boutique box, this is a market month. So I'll be at market in 3 weeks. And boutique box girls, they get a boutique box. I add them into our Dibs chat every single day. We get new inventory in. I show them. They get first dibs. So if something is ever populating on the website or the app and you're like, how come they don't have any larges left or mediums or whatever? It's because the boutique box girls got first dibs and they ate them all.
Okay. So that answers my question kind of, but I was the boutique box, y'all pick that out of stuff that's already in the store. And then when you're sending them stuff at market, that doesn't go in their box, right?
Correct.
That's extra stuff.
Correct.
Okay.
So our boxes, have you ever done like a FabFitFun box?
No, but I know the.
Yeah, they're super dumb. So like you get the same, everybody gets the same stuff in their box. So like if you and I both ordered from any of these other subscription services,
we get the same stuff.
We get the same stuff in it. So ours are completely custom curated. So like if you check out with a box right now and you're like, I wear this size top, this size bottoms, I wear this size in Judy Blues, I wear this size in my shoes, I like dangles versus studs or vice versa, I am a cat mom, my kid plays soccer. Our school colors are this. You can send in all the things you could possibly imagine, and your box is completely curated to that. And then you add all your favorites to the app.
I was about to say, I know I do the bundles.
Yep.
Because for $35, I got an $80 jacket.
Well, that's not all the time. I only do that when we're getting ready to have huge shipments arrive.
Yes, I figured it was like a clear out thing.
Right now,
so
I have tons because I only have 1,500 square feet downstairs.
So you have to get it out.
So I don't have the room. Our shoe collection right now, Corky's spring collection is arriving, and I have no extra room. So I am like, okay, do we have onesie twosie of shoes left that we need to move to make space for full runs of the spring collections? So I'm having to like make those decisions on space.
Yeah.
And then also like move out. So Mardi Gras ends on Tuesdays, Fat Tuesday. So we'll be packing up Mardi Gras and then bringing out all the spring and Easter stuff. So it's just a constant.
I can't wait for Easter. Easter's one of my favorites.
I'm so excited. I've been working with the balloon ladies. Ooh. God, I love that stuff.
But yeah,
Aesthetics, man.
I'm excited to see my dress bundle.
Oh,
because I've been looking at some dresses all winter.
Well, and I
favorited them all.
Have I even posted that?
Yeah.
Did I post it in the VIP? Oh, I definitely didn't put it on the app or the website, so that's only a VIP thing.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. That's why you're a VIP.
Sorry.
Anyway, I didn't mean to turn this into a whole dear me chat.
No, it just...
Yeah. It's just market
this
the way I do business.
This was my first time getting a bundle.
Yeah.
And I have advertised it because I got a $80 flannel jacket I've been looking at in your boutique.
Yeah.
70, 80, plus a pair of earrings.
It was the last one.
Yeah.
And it happened
that
on your size.
I favorite it, that I love. Like, I favorite the things on our app that I love, and they go and pick out your stuff from there.
Yeah.
So, I got a jacket that I've been looking at and a pair of earrings for $35. And I've wore it 4 times.
Not to toot our own horn.
Not to toot,
awesome.
but like, you can be on a budget and still get nice things. That's what I like to say to people is like, use your rewards.
Yep.
Use your bundles.
There are so many opportunities.
So many opportunities.
I get comments once in a great while. I hardly ever do.
Right.
But once in a great while, people be like, your stuff is so expensive. I'm not even sorry. Because we do like military, teacher discount, first responder, police, all of that. And then also we have rewards on the app and the website. Yeah. And I do bundles like all the time.
I pay full price for everything in your salon. But I don't. Well, like I don't get discounts from you, but you can work her app and stuff to where you get discounts and rewards and like you've worked for it, but you get to use it.
I think it's all in everybody different business models. Yeah. You're not gonna like our t-shirts are $30. Yeah. But there's like discounts everywhere. There's bundles everywhere. Like literally. Yeah.
I can get that right now. I can get that T-shirt for $20.
But it's dear me though, so like we put
it's exclusive.
Yeah. We're awesome like that.
It is, and I went in Crawfish to Go, and I had on it's a blue and white short sleeve blouse that I got from you, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, I love your shirt," and I was like, "Thank you." And then I went to go hand my money, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I love your bracelets." And it was MK. And I was like, "Thanks, girl." I was like, "Freaking Brittany." And then she looked, I was like, "Dear me." And she was like, "Man." And then Sadie came around. She was like, "I love that shirt. We love Brittany." And I'm like, "I know." She gets me in trouble.
Connections, man. It's connection. Yes. It's relationships. Yes.
And that's what I missed being in Ruston. Like, I love going to Walmart and talking to y'all. I don't love standing there for 15 minutes and talking, but hey girl, I love that y'all's kids know me, you know, like I love it. I love being somebody knows where everybody knows everybody.
Yeah. That's not a song.
I missed being somebody that everybody knew, where everybody knew
it's a
everybody.
small town life.
And I remember posting that when I was in Ruston and going through a really hard time. I posted that.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Oh, you're crazy, blah, blah, blah. I'd love to move off." No. I wanted to walk in the gas station and then be like, "Hey, Lacie, you want your Crispito and Coke?" "Yeah, I do. Thank you. I love you. See you tomorrow morning." You know?
Okay, here's another good question. What keeps you motivated when the business hits roadblocks or setbacks?
Okay, so in hair world, the J months are the slowest months.
That's retail world too. Ideally, retail
Ideally,
world
okay.
Too.
You just have to, it's hard. You have to budget because during your busy months, you have to kind of make up for.
That is the most awful B word.
I know. But also in the slow months in the hair world, you just got to tough it out. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Because, you got to tough it out because next week you ain't going to be able to fit everybody in.
That's
it's never
true.
Consistent,
It's all up and down.
Yeah.
I think...
How do you do it?
What keeps me motivated when the business hits roadblocks or setbacks? So, mine... Roadblocks or setbacks. I'm always really generous. But that kind of feeds my soul. I do giveaways all the time. Because especially if it's product, I already have it.
Right. It's not cost anything.
It doesn't, it
does
cost,
anything, but yeah.
But
I didn't mean that way, but
I think I take an opportunity. And if anybody else wants to do this, I encourage you because it helps with morale and just customer service in general. In times of setbacks or roadblocks, I get thankful for those who have shown me so much love along the way. And you'll see me do even more giveaways to show appreciation. For the folks who are showing up,
yes,
for our brand, because that's what it is. I don't have a store. I have a brand. I have a reputation.
Yeah,
and I'm a giver, and that's my love language. So, and that doesn't even need to be when I'm having a setback or a roadblock. I do it all the time because there are moments I experience gratitude all the time. I really try to have lots of gratitude in moments of high, medium, and low. So. I don't want people to think just because I'm doing a giveaway, we're having a setback or roadblock.
No.
I do it all the time, but I get very sentimental about it because I know where I came from.
I know where I came from, and I know these people pay my bills, essentially.
Yeah.
And, I'm so thankful that y'all choose to come to me.
Yeah.
I've made several posts in the past few weeks that's thank y'all so much for changing my appointments available to booked.
Yeah.
Because I'll go to work.
Listen, I've done some heavy advertising
I
for
love you so
Lacie
much.
Romero.
I love it so much. But my books don't book up months in advance. My life isn't set up that way.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen next week, But I do book up. I go to work on Tuesday, I'm booked for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
And then I'll start booking for the next week.
Yeah. But it hasn't always been that way.
It has not always been that way. I'm in the industry for 7 years, and I sacrificed a lot. And I went to work a lot of days and made $0. A lot of work days cost me to go.
Those were the rough days, but
those were the rough days.
Those setbacks and roadblock days are honestly what makes you successful.
Yes.
In the fruitful days.
Yes.
Because you have to get creative.
You have to get creative. And I will say that just threw off my
your phone buzzing.
Yeah.
See, you got to put it on Do Not Disturb. That means it was Eric or something.
No, it's a 601 number, but it's on Do Not Disturb.
Interesting.
I will start stressing about, oh my gosh, I don't have any clients. And then I'll make a Facebook post, and again, I'm very faith-based, so I'll kind of pray, God, take this stress away from me. I know you have a plan. I know just because I'm not booked for a day that I'm not losing my touch.
That happens in business all the time.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I've had 2 slow days. Am I done? Are my clients gone? Whatever. I know all hairstylists can relate. But so I'll pray. I'll be God, this is on your hands. I'll reflect. I'll be hey, maybe I need to clean. Maybe I need to clean the salon. Go home, catch up on laundry. I try to take that time now and use it for something else where I don't usually have that time. But I'm so thankful that I can post that I have availability, and in 2 hours, I have these people who, they may have came to me 2 weeks ago, and they're like, I miss you. I need to come get my hair done. Put me down. And I'm like, I love you. So, yeah, I mean.
In the slow times.
Yeah.
For sure.
They mean the world. And then it's almost like they come in and we get more time together. Mm-hmm. And it's more fruitful because we've filled each other's cup.
Yeah.
You know, we're not just
You were in a bad mood last week, and I showed up. Mm-hmm. And you were not in a bad mood, and I left.
I was not in a bad mood. I don't remember what I was in a bad mood about.
You were just feeling a little down.
Yeah.
For no reason at all.
Yeah, I was just funk.
Yeah.
And then you showed up and we laughed, and I was like, I love you. I'm better. But y'all help me as much as I help y'all. They say cosmetologist or therapist.
Yeah.
Y'all are my therapist a lot.
Man. I go through therapy every day, I feel like.
Yeah, me too.
I've my roadblocks and setbacks lately have been getting better at my, let's see, how do I explain this for people who don't do what I do for a living? I have, in my journey to become a better business owner, I am working on my business more than I'm working in my business.
Okay, yeah, I get it.
So the day-to-day operations, I do less of these days because I'm scaling, which is a blessing. But that also comes with sacrifice and setbacks and things like that. So right now I'm in a season of learning things I've never had to learn before because I have outsourced them. But I've made decisions that are just financially smart, you know. Before, I think it's growth as far as like mindset goes too. When you have a little bit of money, you just spend it freely, you know? So now I'm learning to actually be intentional with how I'm spending my money and what I'm spending it on and what I could be using it for to better my business. So they're not exactly like setbacks. I'm just doing things a little bit differently and change, which I love change. But I'm just at a different level in my business now to where I'm learning things I've never had to learn before, which thank God I love learning. I know that all sounds really redundant and vague, but without going into all the details of like my business, it's a season of growth and learning for me. So if you don't see my face a lot, like downstairs in the shop, I'm probably upstairs with my blue blockers on, scanning documents, spreadsheets, things like that. I'm working on ads and stuff on my level, and then getting help from other people.
Yeah, that's been hard on my end too because I don't know what to do.
With what?
Just like I had no plans opening a salon. Like I didn't.
Oh yeah, you don't know what you don't know.
I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah.
So really, we were faking it till we make it.
Right.
And for the 2 years we faked it till we made it, whatever. And now our third year, I'm like, okay, let's scale.
Do you ever think? And this is like y'all are just innocent bystanders now at this point.
Yeah.
Do you ever think about having somebody come in from the outside and look at things and give you suggestions?
Yeah, today. I just said that to you.
But
you. I told you I go to 2 people, you and Riley. I went to Riley and now I'm going to you.
So I've asked this to my like mentors in the industry. I've sort of been like, can you hire somebody to come in and assess the health of your business overall, like holistically, and give some feedback in areas improvement or whatever. The cost is insane. You wouldn't believe to have somebody come in and dive into everything and tell you what you don't know.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of failure on our part as business owners.
Yeah.
We fail. We might succeed once in a while.
Yeah.
And so paying somebody to come in to do a health analysis of your whole business and say, here's where you could be growing more, here's where you're falling short. I mean, you're going to pay out the nose. And really that just saves you another year of your life as a business owner. That's what it does.
Yeah.
From failing until you figure it out.
Right.
So, yeah, all that to say, I think we could all benefit from having our businesses looked at.
Yes.
And that's that workshop that I want to do for the people who are just starting out. I'd love to do for them what nobody did for me.
Right.
In the beginning.
Yeah.
I didn't have a roadmap. I didn't have a blueprint. I had nobody to ask. I didn't have a mentor.
Yeah.
I just figured it out, me, myself, and I.
So, this is a lot of what I have to talk to you about. I want to do the same for the hair world.
Okay.
In a little different way. But I had the mentor. I had the woman who pushed me, who told me that coming out of hair school, you ain't crap.
Mm-hmm.
You got to build up that reputation.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Not in a demeaning way, but in like
you're about to work.
You've got to work. You're going to sweep the floor. You're going to fold the towels. You're going to shampoo my client. You know, and that built me. And I want to turn that around somehow.
And teach them the same thing? Oh, yeah.
But on a large scale.
Yeah. Does that mean you want to go, teach at a hair school? Do you want to have your own little hair school?
We want to bring a hair school here.
Oh, is there not a hair school here?
No.
Now, listen, I don't know anything about that industry.
That was something we were going to keep in our pocket, but we would love to bring a hair school here.
I'm sure you could have people help who know.
Oh, I already have my A-team. I already have my A-team.
That would be awesome.
I just have to go back to school.
I wish, I think that was a thing back in high school when I was in school, that you could go shadow all these different jobs. And
I'd love for a high schooler to shadow me. If you have a daughter who thinks she wants to go into the hair world, have her come shadow me. But on a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, because they need to see a busy salon day. And they can come to me every Saturday that I work.
Yeah.
You know, this summer, send them. I'll work them.
That'd be a really good idea.
Yeah.
Just to see if that's actually something that they want to do.
Now, it's not going to be, you don't sit there on your phone and pretend to watch me do hair. I want you to observe, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I would do that.
And have them do tasks and all that.
Yeah. But yeah, I want to teach, I think. I kind of feel weird saying that on the podcast.
That's not weird.
Okay.
What does that give you, imposter syndrome or something? Yeah. That you shouldn't be doing that?
I don't know. You saw the anxiety rising. I'm rubbing my shirt. I don't know.
I mean, that's real though.
It's a big thing. It's huge. Imposter syndrome, what makes you think you can teach? I don't think my technique is so much better than anyone. I think that my mindset about the hair world is a little different than other people's, than some of the newer generation of hair world, because I was taught by someone so old school.
But if no one else is going to do it, they can't lecture you about how you're doing it.
Right.
Because they're not willing to take the time to do it.
Yeah.
I don't really see in many industries locally, because everybody's really busy, I don't really see the people around me in different fields that are very good at what they do. Unless they're doing it behind closed doors, they're not advertising it. They're not, helping the next one.
Right. I want to help the next one.
Help the next one.
Because one day I'm not going to be able to do what I do. You know?
Yeah.
And it's an art. Old school hairstyling is an art that's dying. The mentality.
What's the mentality?
And I could be wrong. This could just be boutique hairstylists that I see on the internet. But it's, like I said, they come out of hair school and they think they should get, $500 work, do one client and make, $1,200 that day and be done.
Oh.
And, they show up to the salon and do their client and leave. And, I mean, that's great. You can get to where one day.
That's not realistic.
That's not realistic to come out of hair school. Especially, maybe if you live in New York or something, but to come out of hair school into Ritter or Leesville or anywhere and think you're going to do that, it's not going to work. You got to show up and do the dirty work and do the groundwork and build your clientele and put in the blood, sweat, and tears, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you've got to keep putting it in. It's like if you just open your business doors and said, come buy an $80 shirt! And then just left it at that and did nothing else.
Ooh. Guess what we just got?
What?
A situation.
Ooh.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. I've not read this to screen it, so we might have to have Dylan delete it if it's not appropriate. I don't know. Not that there would be, but just in case. But it's anonymous.
Okay.
My mother-in-law hates me, and I mean hates me. She has done everything under the sun to just be mean to me. She started with little comments on my weight, going so far to be mean to my kids. My husband and I took a step back from her after having our second child because she was being ugly while talking about them. She picked favorites and would go to places and only buy for one grandchild, do for the one grandchild, even in front of us. We've had several people tell us to mend the relationship. I just have such a bad gut feeling on it. I've dealt with it for 3 years.
Does your husband stand up for you?
That's my question.
Does your husband say something to his mom for you, for the situation that is happening? Does your husband put his foot down and say, you, maybe not like you are wrong, but you have hurt her feelings, this is my wife, this is who I choose to spend my life with, and if you can't agree with that, then don't be in our lives.
Standing up for her, yes.
But
I
also
would
your
be,
children.
I think, so my husband's parents are his, and my parents are mine. If I were in this situation, the husband, I would assume, if I were the husband,
Yeah.
I would address my mom.
Yeah.
And let her know that she is negatively impacting my life.
Yeah.
I wouldn't make it about my wife at all.
Okay.
I would, because people don't realize they're targeting a person.
Yeah.
I bet they don't realize they're actually targeting their child.
Yeah.
But if I were him, I would absolutely address it as, I don't think you realize what you're doing to my marriage.
Yeah.
I don't think you realize how you're impacting me as a husband and the situation in which you are putting me in. It's unnecessary.
It's uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable. And that is, and I mean, to sound churchy, it's not Christ-like at all. I don't think that
to
person
be churchy,
is,
a mother raises her son to marry and,
right.
you know,
and
start his life. It's on Do Not Disturb.
So I don't know what has stemmed this tumultuous relationship between the mother-in-law and the woman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's because we're only seeing one side of the story.
Yes.
So I don't know if she has done anything to irritate the mother-in-law. Like, did she do something on purpose? Did she ostracize her? Did she, I don't know.
So the children, the grandchildren, is that like is it children from previous marriage, which still is not right, from a previous relationship, and she's only showing favoritism to
sounds like she has 2 kids.
with the husband.
Uh-huh.
And the grandma only likes or shows favoritism to one of the children.
To one
and
of the
both
2
with
kids.
The same.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to understand, because I've heard a lot of instances where someone gets married and they have a previous child, and this grandparent doesn't treat that previous child the same as the new.
Right. I mean, you can have your opinions about somebody, but that doesn't mean you need to, like, express them openly.
No.
To where because those grandkids are going to grow up and see that
and
stuff.
Hear that, yeah.
And you're not going to have a very good relationship with your grandkids when they get older. Like, I always think the adult version of this child will get to know me as a real human.
Yes.
Are they going to like you enough to stay around?
Yeah.
So I would say, I would want to know, as the girl, as the woman, the wife, I would assess what I have done to offend this mother-in-law so much, take some accountability for my own actions. And that could be minuscule. That could be huge. I don't know what it is. But I definitely say I need to take some accountability for my part in the situation. If I owe her an apology, give it.
Mm-hmm.
Forgive her. Because forgiveness doesn't make the action okay. It gives you peace to move forward.
Yeah.
And if that person is still so toxic that they cannot accept your apology for the part in which you had in that relationship, maybe I don't know, they need to do some counseling or something. But that man those are his parents. That's his mama. So he needs to let his mama know how her actions are negatively impacting him. And if she's super toxic, she'll probably be like, well, that girl, blah, blah, blah.
But, well, that girl's my wife.
Well, the mother-in-law needs to take accountability for her actions as well. I don't know. I'm a very open communication, and it just sounds like there's a lot of, like, passive-aggressive things happening that we're not addressing openly, and that's an issue probably for our generation, too, is everybody wants to text everything, and everybody wants to, like, behind closed doors have conversations about other people without addressing it directly. And it doesn't need to be volatile. It doesn't need to be aggressive. But maybe just have an open communication. If this were me and my mother-in-law was doing this stuff, I would, first of all, have my husband address it. Not because I'm shy or not wanting to have that communication with her.
That's his place.
But that's his mom. And I'd have you address it first. And I probably would tell my husband, you address it before I do. Because you don't want me to address it. Because if I have to address it, I'm going to be kind.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be mean.
Right.
I'm simply going to say you're making me feel uncomfortable. And for me, personally, Brittany personally, and I have done this, if you're making me uncomfortable, I hold the keys to these kids. And I am the person that if I can't be around you because you don't know how to conduct yourself around my kids and you're going to be a poor example of a grandparent to them, we will spend our time elsewhere. I'm not threatening to take my kids and, like, not come around you, but I am. If you can't get past, I want us to get past it because it's healthy for your kids to have a relationship with your grandkids. But if you just aren't that kind of human to where that can be done without you talking poorly about their parent,
right,
then we don't have anything else to discuss. Because Darryl does have I won't disclose that, actually. We're going to crop out what I just said about Darryl does. Just so you know.
Can we crop out where I said I want to bring a school here? I don't want people to know that yet.
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah.
So I just think this girl, the wife, I think first step, have the husband talk about not the wife and how she's impacted. He needs to discuss with his mom how it's impacting him because that's her baby. And if you find out you're doing something to negatively impact your baby, you are more inclined to change the behavior than if you're just being mean to this girl. That makes sense?
Yeah.
It's a woman's brain. That's how we think. If he, I hate to say this, but, like, if he is not that kind of man that he is able to have those conversations, then you might have to take and do that yourself and have that communication with her directly. And I'm going to say it. I don't know if I'd be having any more kids with this guy, though, if he can't stand up for his family. And maybe that's something that he can work on in himself before I'd be, you know what I mean? There's things that you need to work on in your marriage that you get to a point where you're like, I'm going to let you work on this for a little bit. We'll still hang out and be married and chill or whatever, but you're on notice. There's just things in your marriage that, like, are deal breakers for me. So I'm not saying you should do this, but that's what I would do. My husband is the leader of my family, and if he can't lead in which he should, I then have to take into consideration whether he is fit to lead my family. You know, I hate to make it sound that way.
No, because as a wife, I tell people I have to talk to Eric. Not like I need permission, but we're a team. I don't make solo decisions.
I would never, if I were in this situation and my parents were doing something to make my husband feel uncomfortable, my husband would have never had to have the conversation with me. I would have already taken care of it, nipped it in the bud, and we'd have been done with it by now.
Well,
because that's my family.
The way I would see it is, my husband don't do a dang thing to nobody. Why are you talking about him? You know?
Well, I mean, everybody, you never know what people are going to have a problem with.
Right.
It could be that this mother-in-law doesn't like the fact that this mom of two doesn't clean her house enough.
Yeah. I mean, my
it could be something superficial like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And she could be like, I've lost all respect for this woman because she don't keep her house clean enough. I don't know what ridiculous thing she's getting so caught up in.
Now, my mother-in-law would probably come help me clean my house. But yeah, I could see her say, like,
right.
Golly, your house dirty. And I'd be like, help me.
People live here. I don't know what to tell you.
Help me. No, I kind of understand because me and my mother-in-law, we have always loved each other, but she recently told me that she thought she would just tolerate me throughout the years because I took her baby away. I moved him 3.5 hours away from her, you know? And so as a mom, that's all she saw, I think, at the beginning was like, my baby's gone.
Right.
You know? And here recently she was like, I love you. Like, I thought all these years that I would just tolerate you because you were who he loved. But I have grown. I let myself get to know you. And we were boohooing in the middle of Arby's, I think it was.
Oh, Lord.
And she was like, but I let myself get to know you. And
over your curly fries.
Huh?
Over your curly fries.
Over my curly fries. I was like, drinking my Dr. Pepper. She said, I love you. I love the person you are. I see how much you love Eric every day. And she apologized to me for everything.
You're gonna make me cry.
I know. I mean, she was never horrible to me. I don't know if she ever said horrible things about me. I don't know.
That's none of your business.
She lives 3 hours away. That's her business, you know? But she told me, she said, I love you. I love the mom that you are. I love the wife that you are to my husband and to my son. And that, as a wife, just shook me.
Yeah.
Because every day, Eric is so good. And I'm like, I'm not enough for him. Like, he is so good.
Yeah.
In his heart, in his discernment, in his biblical, in his faith. He is so good. And there's so many times every day that I'm like, I don't know what I did to get this. I don't know what I did in my life to deserve this happiness, but I'm so thankful for it. And just to hear that she can see how happy I am and how much I love him was like the most rewarding thing. Because I say all the time that Eric is my gift for my childhood. That Eric is the gift that I get for everything that I went through. I don't know how this got here. So to hear that someone on the outside, because Eric knows I love him, like we have talks every day. But for someone on the outside, especially his mom, to say, I see it, and I love you, it just meant so much. But at the beginning, Eric said, I'm with her. I am not coming home. This is my life. And I believe that him taking the time to stand up for me to his mom.
Well, he wasn't standing up for you.
Standing up for our relationship. Up for y'all. Yes, for our relationship. Because it really was to the point, I'm sharing a lot here. But it was kind of to the point of, I'm going to go back home. And we'll still be together, but I'm going to go back home. And I said, no. I said, if you go home, like, he probably would be really mad if I shared this. We weren't even married. I said, if you go home, like, we're done. I'm not interested in a long-term relationship, long distance. Like, this is a deciding point for us.
Well, I mean, this is none of my business because I'm not married to Eric. But, like, if he had chosen to go back home, then he is not the one for you. Mm-hmm. Because you as a couple would have decided to go back up there. Yeah. You know, but...
Yeah. And it was kind of like, I'll come down on the weekends and I just need to go, kind of smooth this over and then I'll come back. This was 11 years ago. And I was like, no, if you're going to go, go. and don't come back. Like, if you're leaving,
yeah,
this is it. This is a deciding factor for me.
Yeah.
And that's the one and only time me and him have had a talk like that. That this is it.
Yeah.
And it was like, that changed the respect we had for each other, the respect that me and his mom had for each other, and it changed the trajectory of our relationships from that point forward.
Yeah.
So maybe your husband does need to have that talk, because your mother-in-law could be filled. That's her baby, you know?
Yeah, but she's no longer the most important thing in his life anymore.
I know, and that's hard for a mother to, like, now looking back, that's hard for a mother.
Not even
understand.
Just socio, emotional and anything like that. It's like now that is no longer your primary concern.
Mm-hmm.
And for a mom, that probably is hard to hear.
I think they panic.
But I don't know about you. Like, you don't have a boy, but like, I'm raising my son to take care of a family.
Yes.
Not me. You're not going to take care of me.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to take care of a family.
Yeah.
And Darryl, for sure, I married an alpha to the core. Thank God. Because the Lord knew that I needed somebody real bossy and real strong.
Amen.
Because he is teaching Bradley, son, if something happens to me, that you live with all women.
Yeah.
There are 3 of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's one of you. You need to know how to operate this, how to do this, because I'll be damned if your mama has to move another man in here within 90 days because she literally can't do X, Y, or Z.
Yeah.
So he teaches him, like, you do this, and you do this, and you do this.
Yes.
And this is how, you're going to, take care of this with the house. And, like, he makes sure that he knows it's not up to, the women cannot do for themselves all the time.
Yeah.
They can do so many things.
Mm-hmm.
But if your mother, he's like, if I leave this world and your mother has to worry about any of the things in which I have taught you, I will be pissed at you from heaven.
I'll be so mad at you.
So mad at you. And so that, he tries to tell Bradley, like, we have the weight of the world is on your shoulders and it's heavy, but you should know that it is heavy, but you will do it with a servant heart.
And you should find a wife that understands that you have the weight of the world on your shoulders, and she does everything in her power to make it easy for you. I don't know how to say it, but like a team.
I think your roles complement one another.
Yes,
it's not like stereotypical, like the wife has the inside chores. No, but there are just things in life that your teamwork together.
Yeah.
On, and it's not. And one of those things better be standing up for your family.
Yes.
That's where I kind of, this question of this viewer's, listener's question leads me in a direction to where she doesn't really have a lot of faith in her husband, which tells me from history, he has either not stood up for them as a couple, or she's not giving him enough credit or allowing him to lead, because there have been moments in my life where I did not. I should have let him lead more. And so he was trying to just keep the peace and let me do what I was trying to do. And instead, I should have been, I'm going to use the word submissive, and everybody's going to clutch their pearls.
I think people think submissive means you just lay down like a dog. And,
But I became less aggressive on things that I thought I should have been aggressive on, which I shouldn't have been, and let him naturally go into that position of leadership. And honestly, as soon as I relinquished control of that, because I already control so many things in my life, I don't need one more, bro. Not even a little bit. And so as soon as I said, this weight is too much, and he said, you don't have to carry it, I was like, what? You mean you can do this? And I don't have to be so controlling over it? And once that, I kind of processed that myself. It's nothing anybody could have told me.
No.
You have to learn it for yourself. But once I relinquished control, which is what it was, I was being controlling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody thinks like being submissive is just laying down and letting somebody else roll all over you.
That's not the case.
No, I just was being less of a control freak, man.
You know, I think early in relationships, at least in the South, there's a big thing on who wears the pants. And I think maybe me, I kind of got caught up in that at the beginning. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I wear the pants. No, he's the man. Mm-hmm. He's supposed to wear the pants of the house, you know? Like,
but once you allow them, I think, once you allow him to wear the pants, you know, be the leader of the family, it's like he blossoms.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're like, there's the man.
So hot, man. That daddy energy is incredible.
Yes.
And I know there's a lot of like man haters that are, I don't understand that at all.
Men make me very uncomfortable. That's why I say I hate men. I was raised without a man, so men used to make me uncomfortable just because I wasn't used to being around them. So I'm like, men are disgusting. I hate men. Ugh. Yeah, I don't actually hate men.
I was raised around very tough men, very alpha men, but I was raised to be an alpha woman.
Yeah.
So that I didn't have to rely on them. They raised me so that if I didn't have an alpha man, I didn't need it.
Absolutely. Amen. Me
but
too.
Then once I was around my husband and let him lead.
Yeah.
I'm an alpha female, but I can kind of calm down a little bit and relax.
Yeah. And let him handle it.
I don't know how to describe it. It's just, I could be just a girl. I'm literally just a girl.
I don't know how to describe it either, other than he's got it. I ain't even carrying my purse.
Yeah. Used to, no. I didn't think that way. And I didn't think we were on the same team.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had a mental breakdown because I have been like, why do you pick their side? You are on my team. You're on my side.
But not, so.
And he's like, I'm not picking teams. I'm seeing the whole picture. And I'm like, that's not what I want to hear.
I know. And sometimes I have the same discussion. It's very like.
Because he's not a fluffy person. He is not going to fluff me up and tell me I'm good if I'm not good.
That's me too. So many times Daryl's like, can you just agree with me? I'm like, but are you? And
he's like, no.
No. Are you right though? Do you need to be challenged? Probably.
And so when I come to him with an idea and he doesn't challenge me, I'm like, well, let's go to the bank. I know. I'm like, oh, this is a good idea.
Darryl does not tell me that half the time. He's like, this sounds like an awful idea, but I'm going to do it anyway because you want to do it.
No, so his good ideas are business things. With the house, he's like, yeah, one day. Yeah, we'll do that one day.
One day.
But going back to, you have an alpha male raising a little boy who is going to be a husband someday. From a girl dad perspective, I think it's so hot that my daughter is getting shown how to be loved properly.
Yes.
How to not be in a narcissistic relationship, an abusive relationship. Like, she gets to see what a healthy marriage, what a healthy man, what healthy love is. Yeah. And that's important to me because not very many people know what a healthy relationship is.
So we used to like have our little tiffs behind closed doors. And now, and yeah, everybody can like comment or agree, and like, I'm not going to share a ton, but these days we have discussions. Yeah. And if they get a little like, not heated, or they could be heated, whatever. Yeah. Because I'm passionate and he's passionate. The kids will be like, is something wrong? And he's like, we just disagree on this, which is fine. That's normal. And then we come to a conclusion, and then typically, like, we explain to the kids, we disagreed on this. Mm-hmm. I felt this way. You know, the other person felt this way. We compromised. Going forward, we're going to do this. Mm-hmm. And we're a group unit. We're like, mm-hmm. That's what we do together. So now we pretty much work through things and the kids see. Mm-hmm.
Like
conflict resolution. Yes. Oh, yeah. He's like, you're drawn out now. Sorry, everybody's going to be like, this was the longest episode in the history of the world. We did have to crop a few things out, though. Anything. Well, we did talk about parenting, and we did talk about wifing.
I was being dramatic.
And we also talked about business. So, honestly, we did all of the things that we said we were going to do.
I just have to be dramatic.
And if anybody has more questions or whatever that they want to submit, we can do that, too. I would really like for guests to be able to cue in on, you know, some of these, too. So to weigh in on some of these situations. I like the situations because that's real life.
Yeah.
And it's what's going on.
And I didn't even realize that I had a situation that related.
See?
And I got real and raw. That's, not meant.
I'm so proud of you.
Share that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. This is a safe space,
It is a safe space, guys. I'm trying to help y'all.
And I think the people who listen to it have genuinely been like, this is so good.
Yes.
You know?
And I will say to that girl, this is just a sidebar. I have the best mother-in-law in the world. And I have the best relationship with my mother-in-law.
That's awesome.
So I do believe that if there is a chance for rectification, it can be rectified.
Yeah.
There just has to be things put in place.
And he's going to have to help with that.
He's going to have to help with that. Absolutely. Yeah. He's going to have to be the pillar of the home.
Okay, we're going to wrap up. We love you guys. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your week.
Love you guys.
Because this airs on Thursday. And next week, I'm not going to say who the guest is, but it's going to be...
Ooh, y'all are going to be so excited.
So excited.
So excited.
Especially if you're from Louisiana.
Ooh.
You're going to
Can I just say one thing?
Sure.
Go Tigers.
If you're from Louisiana, you're going to be like real stoked next week.
Yeah.
But submit all of your questions and your situations or whatever you want to
weigh in. And tag us while you're listening. I love reading y'all's comments.
Me too. The stories.
Uh-huh. I love it. I love it.
All right. Love you guys. Have a good week.
Love you guys. Bye.